I will never stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hungary, where we are now going to be going live for the second time this year with the most crazy, insane European Drift Championship that has ever been conceived. You don't believe us? Well, they didn't at round one, and what a show that was, Ian. Incredible.
I mean, hair-raising stuff, Dave. We see some of the best guys from around Europe put it door to door on one of the tightest, most complex circuits we've ever witnessed.
And it got emotional.
Very emotional.
It was insane. We had Shanahan beating his mentor, James Dean, in the final with fireworks and thousands of Polish fans cheering their names. It was a sensational start. But right now, before we kick off this next chapter, the second chapter of 6, we're going to go back and just remember those incredible moments that happened at round 1.
Come on, we've all doubted it. I think it's okay to admit that. I mean, we've all asked ourselves the question, is this sport as good as we think it is? Will it ever reach mainstream recognition and break free of its niche perceptions? It's a question that has worried every member of the European drift community for almost 15 years. But on one humid night, in a football stadium in Poland, that question was finally answered. 20 nations bid farewell to their chosen representatives, while the finest minds in European drifting conceptualized an event fitting of their talent. There was a lot riding on this. A lot of people's dreams, aspirations, and even careers. One slip-up, one failure, one mark missed, and it could all turn to dust. 15 years of anticipation. Could anything satisfy or justify that belief? Is this sport as good as we think it is? No. On that fateful night, it was far better.
It's here, the most monumental drift event that Europe has ever seen. Drivers from all across the continent are here. I hope you guys are ready, because this is going to be a spectacular event here in Poland.
Formula Drift World Champion James Dean was the hot favourite to take the trophy, and after topping qualifying it looked like business as usual. But with Europe's best aiming for his title, he was about to have a very tough night at the office. A child behind the wheel of a 600 brake horsepower car is surely a novelty act at this level, but Shanahan doesn't care about novelty or age. And after a hard-fought battle with Tor Arne Kavia, he was marching to his first European final against the man that inspired his entire career. They say, never meet your heroes. But first, there was the small business of third place. Tor Arne Kavia would prepare for a death match with Poland's own Dawid Karkoszek for the final podium position. With both drivers on equal form, this would be a battle for the ages.
Karkoszek to lead in, Tor Arne Kavia, look at Kavia!
Hop onto the wall, Kavia all over the side of Karkoszek, set 15. Look at the aggression from Kavia. Kavia wants the win. He wants the podium.
Knocking cones. He didn't even have a spoiler on the car. He's using the rear end of his car.
Look at this, Torane Kavia, door to door, wheel on wheel. Wow, look at the pace of Kavia that was surprised that car to the outer zone days.
It's for third step on the podium, and Karkoszek toying with those exterior walls.
As they come round the roundabout. Karkoszek's not looking too handy right now as Torane Kavia looks dominant.
Kavia and Karkoszek would put everything on the line for a third step on the podium. Norway had found a new star, and Kavia's raw emotion after the announcement was reciprocated by those in attendance. 20 nations began the contest, but it would be an all-Irish final. 14-year-old Conor Shanahan had grown up idolizing James Dean. Surely the moment would be too much for an unproven school kid. But sometimes, this sport creates something truly magical.
Oh, wow, look at Conor Shanahan, wheel on wheel with the world champ.
Oh, what was that transition, Conor Shanahan?
Look at Shanahan, Dave, he's wheel to wheel, door to door with James Dean. Oh, look at this, Shanahan.
Shanahan gave it everything as the electricity and tension overwhelmed those in attendance. The world champion was on the ropes. The kid had him rattled, and those watching on rose from their seats and started to believe. One last run, one last moment, but whose would it be?
Dean fires in behind Shanahan, not the same proximity right now, Ian. Oh, now James Dean, he's coming for it!
James Dean backs it in on contact!
Shanahan stays in it!
James Dean backwards entry into the braking zone. Shanahan taking the back off the car.
He's blown the back bumper off the car, the back lights off the car, and now James Dean's coming for it!
Oh wow, Shanahan is throwing it all on the wall right now.
Two Irishmen entered, but only one would emerge from the carnage.
Dean shuts it down!
Wow, the
History is the making!
Moments like this are a reward for belief, for every doubt we've ever had, for every time we've almost given up. Try telling us now that this isn't the most unique, exciting and emotional motorsport ever imagined. It's special, it's undeniable, and it's ours. 15 years ago, European drifting and Conor Shanahan were both created, but on one fateful night in Poland, both had found each other, and the future looked brighter than ever. Who will be the hero in the next Driftmasters story? Well, we're about to find out.
So there you have it, Ian, an emotional first round in Poland, incredible scenes, and right now we are here, round 2 in Hungary at Trackwood in Máriapócs for the next chapter. Who's going to be the hero? Well, that was the question I was asking, and after practice we've seen the guys go into the wall, we've seen the guys go into the bank, we've seen guys push harder than we've ever seen before. They want this.
Yeah, I mean, they're hungry for it, Dave, and straight off the bat this morning in practice, these guys got the line dialed. It seemed natural. It seemed that they come into this hungry for it. Like you say, these guys are battling hard and they want to win, and this track suits a lot of these European drivers down to the ground.
Well, it seemed to come down to a lot of pace in practice. You got the fast car here, you have a little bit of advantage. But to talk through the technicalities of the course, there's no point in asking us, Ian, because we're just fans, we're just watching it. What we need to do is go to our judges. Our judges this weekend are David Callas, Kieran Hines, and Kevin O'Connell, who we're going to introduce. Kevin O'Connell, and Kev, talk us through what's going to score that perfect 100 run here at Driftmasters Round 2.
a clutch kick or a feint entry, because they will score higher. A little dab of the handbrake won't mark them down too much, but we really would like the drivers to maintain speed if possible. Upon initiation, we want the drivers to slide the rear of the car through clipping outer zone 1. We want the drivers then to maintain an outside line all the way around the first corner, out to one of the most important parts of the track, outer zone 2. From outer zone 2, then we want the drivers to do a nice smooth transition back onto our first inside clip. After inside clip, we then have a deceleration zone. From the deceleration zone, we want a nice smooth transition back onto outer zone 3. We want the drivers to fill this outer zone as much as they possibly can, come away from the outside zone, back onto our second inside clip. Inside clip 2, then we want drivers to come away onto outside zone 4, fill that completely, then come away, maintain a nice outside line all the way out onto outer zone 5 and over the finish line.
Well, there you have it, and of course, Judge Kevin O'Connell will be sitting in the hot seat, running these guys through their paces. Here's how it stands. We have over 50 drivers that will only be taking up 32 places in the battles. That means this qualifying session is going to be very heated, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very tough. Like you said, Dave, a lot of guys going hard in practice, pushing very, very hard on the walls, door on door. A lot of cars, taking on some damage in practice. So, I mean, like you say, 32 spots. Who's going to take the top one? That's what I want to know. Yeah,
and there's a lot of heated debate in the pits all day about who's looking the best on track. But here's what we want to see. Exactly what that 100-point run is. Well, due to the beauty of technology, we can show you exactly what it looks like because we have a virtual representation of the track here in Máriapócs to show you how incredible this track is and just how fast and dangerous it is too. So here you can see from the start line, you take off through the chicane, and then it's straight through the gears, bang, 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 to get as much speed as possible. Guys come in there in fourth gear. Big feint into the first corner, that's outside zone 1. Sort of a mid-natural line here through the first corner, hits you into outside zone 2. Then it's a snappy transition, inner clip at inside clip 1. Back on the throttle again and go out to that very banked and dangerous corner as you start to run through what I call the forest section of the track. Inside clip 2, and then it's pushing right out. This is a very dangerous part of the track, right with those tire belts on outside zone 4. Last transition of the day, and then it's full throttle through outside zone 5 and across the line. A much shorter track, Ian, than the first round, but just as difficult.
Yeah, I mean, very, very difficult, and it's very fast. There's not a lot of room for error. These guys are traveling. Like you say, Dave, fourth gear, absolutely pinned. We say it's a de-acceleration zone, but, from watching practice earlier, a lot of these guys, 1,000 horsepower cars, are doing that transition flat throttle. It's fast.
It's fast, it's scary, and especially when you're behind someone in fourth gear, there's a lot of smoke being thrown back up at you. It's going to test our drivers, but that's what this championship is all about. The Drift Masters European Championship isn't a beginner series. It's about testing the very, very best, and today we have, representing over 20 nations, an incredible grid of drivers ready to go to war. And it was the Irish that claimed victory at round 1. Today, they're under pressure. They were being pushed around that track in practice. The guys from across Europe are saying, hold on a minute now, we got a long way to go to the round 6. So what I'm hoping to see today is some guys start climbing back up that ladder. We had drivers have some mechanical difficulties at round 1, now starting to get back into the fight. And today, I'm seeing a couple of guys, I'm not going to name names, that just looked untouchable. And believe me, none of them were Irish.
Exactly, yeah. Listen, I think after round 1, I think everybody in the championship kind of woke up, looked at what they'd just witnessed and said, we need to go to Hungary and we need to step our game up. We need to come with the best car, the best team. And it's proved that the paddock, Dave, is heaving with some of the best machinery, the best teams. I mean, listen, I'm excited for qualifying alone.
I am pumped up, I'm hyped. And what's even more incredible for you guys, especially at home who can't see where we are right now, we're in the middle of a forest. There's no other way of describing it. We're in the middle of a forest. There's a racetrack here in the middle of the forest, pretty much in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
And right now you've got this collection of personalities, characters, machinery, horsepower, and this beautiful track in front of us. And we've got 2 days of entertainment for all you guys at home and for you guys here in attendance. But those qualifications are going to be tough earned. Again, only 32 making it through to the battles tomorrow. But first of all, let's have a look at the criteria that these guys are going to have to put themselves through just to make it into the battles tomorrow. So here's what's going to happen. Each driver will complete 2 non-consecutive scored runs. The highest score after both runs will count as a driver's final score. Each run is scored out of a maximum of 100 by our 3 judges. The average score from all 3 judges will count as a driver's run score. Drivers will be deducted points for a momentary loss of drift, understeer, incorrect line, dropping 1 wheel off a designated circuit, and significant contact. Drivers will be rewarded for extreme entry, increased speed, fluidity, smooth transitions, correct judging line, precision, proximity to the outer clipping zones. Drivers will score a 0 0 for a complete loss of drift, spinning out, dropping 2 wheels off the circuit, extreme understeer, or driving a section of the course. So that's how it works, Ian. It's going to be a pretty intense day ahead of us.
Yeah, look, these guys have had some serious practice already today, and like you say, these guys are not scared of this circuit, and from the bat, you know, straight off the mark this morning in practice, these guys actually absolutely had it dialed, you know, so I'm expecting big things for these first qualifying runs, Dave, and it looks like we're ready to go to the start line.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an incredible day's action, and it looks like we're almost ready to go to the start line.
Yep, so as you can see, the 20 nations flags flying high in the sky, representing all of our drivers, and yeah, like you say, Dave, looks like we are ready to go to the start line for our first driver. I mean, it's exciting times.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I come away from Poland, I think we both did, saying how did we get this any better? And today, the first lap of practice, I thought, well, this is already going to be better, because it's just an atmosphere. This place is creating something unbelievable.
It's like Lord of the Rings and drifting came together for one day. It is just in this cauldron of trees. It's incredible. And these guys are definitely making some noise and shaking some birds out of those trees, because we have a hell of a lot of horsepower on the grid. And from where I'm sitting right now, we have a lot of guys willing to prove themselves right from the off.
Exactly. So it looks like the first driver of the day is going to make their way to the start line, and that will be a driver we didn't see at round one. That will be the Serbian Milos Djordjevic.
Yeah, Djordjevic started his drift career in 2016, didn't make round one, unfortunately, in his M3 Turbo, 700 horsepower, single turbo, sequential gearbox, you know, the usuals you need for this kind of level of competition. About 700 horsepower, just about does it. And he's looking for his first competitive run of the weekend, and of course a bit of pressure on. You have him there at round one, you're at a fresh car, fresh build, back out here to try and compete with the best. I think it's going to be putting it up against it, but he looked good in practice, so let's see how he gets on.
Yep, so as Milos comes off the line, you can see that chicane in set up there, absolutely flat through the gears is Milos as he throws it in. You can see that 3-2-1 cone set up nice and wide, going to get to the outer zone very, very early, and a good transition. You can see that nice front inner clip, just about drops a wheel into that outer zone and sacrifices that inner clip and that outer zone again. So a few errors there from Milos, but
plenty of impact, for sure. Plenty of impact, but just missing a couple of those outer zones. And as I said, at this level, you're going to have to collect all of those inner and outer zones to make sure you get that spot in qualifying. With the practice session we've seen, that is exactly what's going to happen. From where I'm sitting right now, he's probably looking at a mid-pack score, but again, you know, it's something to build on for the second half of qualifying.
Exactly, and for you guys at home watching, you would just get to see a gauge of how quick that was, even though Milos, you know, sacrificed a few equipment points. Very, very fast run. So we're just awaiting a score for Milos to drop in, and yeah, look at that, 60.
60.3 puts him in the first position.
Should be a judge, Dave. Should be a judge.
You know what? In my spare time. In my spare time. So a 60-point score, just above 60 point for Milos Djordjevic. Next up, we have got the Ukrainian. It is going to be Dmitry Ilyuk. And Dmitry Ilyuk, he is a 3-time Ukrainian champion. He has also won the Eastern Europe Championship, sponsored by Monster Energy. This car running a V8 from a Nissan Titan.
Yep.
Stroked because it's not enough.
Yep.
And it runs 1,000 horsepower twin turbo, but no intercoolers, Ian.
No intercoolers. This car is absolutely crazy. You guys watching online, if you've never seen Dimitri's car in action, wait till you see the flames that come out the front bumper and the bonnet simultaneously.
4 flames.
4 flames all at the same time. I mean, when the lights dim here in Hungary, that's going to be some spectacle.
Yeah. And I'm no expert, but I looked under the front and said, there doesn't seem to be an intercooler here. Maybe they're fixing it. But he said, no, it's just there. Cool. Let's see what Dimitri's got as he throws it into the first corner. Car popping and banging as he powers in through that first section on that midline. A little bit shy of that first outer zone and a little bit messy. Messing up a little bit on that inside zone as well. It looks like maybe Dimitri's got an issue here.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too healthy as you can see Dimitri struggling to get out to those outer zones. Looking good in the latter part of practice, but just some issues possibly there for
and
Dimitri.
Almost sort of aligned through the center of the course, which essentially is not what the judges are looking for. You need to be right out to those outer zones, and he missed them all pretty much. So I think that's going to really affect his score here, but I think he may be having issues with the car, which essentially, let's be honest, is not going to help the matter.
So we wait for the score for Dmitry Ilyuk to drop in. Yeah, and there we go, a 32 for Dimitri.
Yeah, not exactly what he wanted on his Drift Masters European Championship debut. And we move on to our next driver.
Yeah, our next driver
is Jacek Populek.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.
You just got me
what?
covered there. I looked at him and was like,
you know, it's difficult for us at times, but we're trying our very best this year. We're getting more cultural as it goes. But this is Jacek Popiowic, is actually how you pronounce it. And he is representing TurboWorks. He is another driver on his first run out. He's from Poland, 32 years of age. He's an S14 2JZ 600 horsepower. Big initiation there on a weight transfer as he takes that perfect wide outside line, and he should fill that out of his zone perfectly, which he does. A little bit of a lurch to the inside clip, but back out there, you can see running the exterior of the track perfectly into the inside clip. Now he's got to push wide those tires. Nice run so far from Jacek Popiowic as he puts it across the line. That is a solid first run. This run goes by pretty fast, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very good run there. A lot of impact, like you say, got out to the wide line. The only thing for me, and a split in hairs really, is the front transition as he come out of the outer zone one. Just a bit of a lurch, like you say, he kind of jumped across the
sort of hesitated a little bit, the car gripped up, and these guys running extreme grip in the car, meaning that there's a lot of grip laid down, they're running extreme grip setups, it's sticky out there. And it's difficult. You got to be very committed.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see what he does. 71.3 for Jacek Popiowic. He goes into first position for the moment. We got a long way to go, though, in this qualifying session. Next up, another new driver to the series. It is Filippo Perini in his MX-5, and you throw that little 2-liter engine out, 1.8 engine. You throw in a 2JZ with about 700 horsepower, and the Italian making his Drift Masters debut. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got. You know what, he looked good in practice. Let's see if he can pull it out of the bag for qualifying as Filippo takes off the line.
Yeah, Filippo throwing it in. Look at this, nice. But a little bit hesitant, a little bit of lack of angle coming in. But again, just a hesitation again on that outer zone. But collecting the clipping points, got to go wide here on this. It's right in front of the crowd here. A beautiful shot from our cameras on the live stream. As he just misses that inside clip as well, running it very wide. So sacrificing one clipping zone to get to another. Judges will mark him up for what he gets and down for what he doesn't. So not the perfect run from Filippo. Looks like a difficult car to drive to. You know, that short wheelbase, lots, tons of horsepower, but it doesn't always make it a perfect combination. Yeah, as I always say, it looks like he's holding on a little bit there because that thing is a beast. So let's see what he scores. Filippo Perini awaits his score from the judges. Of course, our judges, David Callas, Kieran Hines, and Kevin O'Connell, just, you know, thinking through it right in the middle of the track with us here. 50 dead for Filippo Perini, third position at the moment, and he's all smiles. You can see from his picture, he's all smiles in the pits too. I would be too if I had a 600 or 700 horsepower MX-5. You know, you couldn't but smile.
You couldn't but smile. And look at this, Dave. Another new driver on the grid. Kemitz Shri on the line. And I mean, this car, as soon as we pulled up yesterday, we see it in the paddock, I was like, this is my guy. Yeah, this is my guy for the weekend.
This is Kemitz Shri. He's a Ukrainian, 34 years of age. He started his racing career only in 2016, so he's a relative newcomer, but he won the championship in Ukraine in 2017. So he's coming in hot here off a big win, national champion from Ukraine. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, as he fires that CLK in LS7 on the bonnet, 500 horsepower. Oh, just struggles to get out to the outer zone. Nice transition though, not too much angle. Judges saying they wanted to see a nice smooth transition there.
And again, missing that inside zone. Yeah, that inside zone is very important. He's on a, tidies it up nicely towards the end of the run, but missing that inside zone is a big, heavy deduction from our judges. And again, another guy, well, you know, he wins anyway because he's got a cool car, in my opinion. The judges are probably going to score him down on some sort of technicalities, but I would give him an extra 20 just for having a CLK out there. Yeah, you got to give him a little bit of credit for that. So let's see what he scores. What is the score for Kemitz Shri? He scores a 56, putting him into third position. 56 on the board for him. Room to improve, I think, for the second half of qualifying in.
Yeah, exactly. But he'll be happy with that. And on the line, Matt Carter.
Yeah, someone you know very well.
Yeah, UK 2017 British Drift Champion. Matt Carter sits on the line. So, Dave, now we start reverse championship order.
Yes, so these are the guys that scored at the first round, and Matt, of course, not qualifying, was going. He actually, the judge is saying he was on for a top 3 qualifying position, but hit the wall and spun out. Now he's got to go back at it again. Yeah,
big point to prove this weekend for the British Drift Champion, Matt Carter, as he completely fulfills the outer zone. Nice transition onto that inner as he now pedals that car back out, completely fulfills the outer zone. Carter looking more comfortable on these faster transition tracks. Look at this from Matt Carter. Nice and smooth into that last outer zone and takes it home.
Yeah, good run. I'm not sure if it translates with you guys at home, but us here in attendance, this is a fast track.
Very
like
fast.
They are full throttle through this, and it's so fluid.
Well, you can give him a little bit of an idea, Dave. The track time in Płotsk was 50 seconds. Here, they get through a lap in 15 seconds. I mean, that's a fast run.
And it's full throttle.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly.
There's like 1 deceleration zone, maybe 2 on initiation, a slight bit, but that's it. It's full throttle everywhere else. Let's see what Matt Carter scores. The Japsweed driver jumps into first with a 75.7. 75.7 from Matt Carter, the current UK champion. flying that Union Jack this weekend and a little bit better fortunes than his first time. Next up on the line.
Yeah, Christian Erlsson, a Swedish driver, driving that BRZ 2JZ, 932 horsepower.
Because the 32 matters, Ian.
It does, the two definitely matters.
Even the 2 matters, especially when you have it all under the bonnet of a very small, compact, lightweight car.
Yeah.
This thing is a beast. He is representing Sweden, as you mentioned. This car, like, it's 932 wheel horsepower, by the way, so it's even more impressive. Let's see how he gets on. Christian thrown into that first one. Oh, a little bit of a sort of a weight transfer entry, but didn't break grip, but he's back on it again now.
Yeah, looked like he was struggling in practice, had a bit of an issue. Looks like he took the car to the wall ever so slightly with the front end. The team got it back together again, and from Christensen's point of view right now, Dave, he managed to, that was a bit of a mess up on initiation. He's pulled it right back out of the bag again.
Yeah, Erlendsson done a great job of taking it across the line on big angle too. The judges like to see that little exclamation mark at the end, just to let you know that they're having fun out there and they're comfortable. So Christian Erlendsson will await his score from the judges. First run in the bag. Let's see what he does. And remember, half the grid going home this evening. Or not going home, they're probably staying for the party, but they're not going to be out for battles tomorrow. So has he done enough? Do you think? I'm thinking the scores are going to keep creeping higher as we go through the championship order. 67 on the board for Christian Erlendsson. That's 3rd position so far. Not bad. A couple of errors in practice, and he's back out fighting again. Next up, we have got another Swedish driver.
Yeah, Jim Olofsson sits on the line. This guy, if you remember correctly, having technical problems at round 1. Looked like the handbrake or the rear calipers seized on, or a half shaft issue. Looks like the team down there from Payback Lubricants got that E30 back together again. And Olofsson looking good, as you can see, taking that car to the wall already.
Absolutely. 750 horsepower, M50 turbo, E30 BMW. The pride of Sweden. Let's see what he's got thrown in. That weight transfer is just so slick on entry. Just unsettles the car and then it is foot to the floor, but missing that outer zone. Then snapping back for that inside zone and got it to fill those outer zones, as you said, Ian. That's what the judges want to see.
Yeah.
Back on it again though here, and he's got a much better finish to the run, just barely dropping a wheel into that third outer zone, and across the line he goes again. Another run that's solid, but probably not jumping way up the scoreboard. But again, a lot of these guys just trying to shake those nerves, make sure that they get a score on the board. Some of these guys, hitting some zeros at round 1, want to get out here, put some score on the board, at least give themselves something to build from. Exactly.
So we wait for Jim Olofsson's score to drop in from our judges.
Let's see what he's got. I mean, I'm thinking, not spectacular, but enough to get him in the mix.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. But you know what? I think this is going to 61 there for Jim Olofsson. Like you say, Dave, a good score. But I think these are going to be very high scores. I think the top 15 up into first place are going to be very, very high. We go to the line, though.
It is Tobiasz Puszczan. Puszczan, the Polish driver, started drifting in 2012. He's had a couple of wins in the Drift Open in Poland, running a 660 horsepower V8 turbo, if I'm not mistaken, E30 BMW, as you do. And he was coming in pretty hot in practice. Look at this for a weight transfer entry.
Yeah, big speed there from Tobiasz as he fires that car in, fulfills the outer zone. Nice smooth transition there on the front bumper. Gets it just about tags the end of the outer zone and drops the wheel on the in. That front clip, this is looking good for Tobiasz right now.
Yeah, very fluid, very fast, looking good out there, and full throttle. You can hear that limiter being absolutely hammered as he comes across the finish line. Really, really good run from Tobiasz. I want to see that. A good score from the judges, I would imagine. Maybe not perfect, but definitely enough to sort of, as I said before, the guys, you'll see them push much harder in the second half of qualifying when they know they've got something to build from. Plus, they'll have everyone's shown their hand then. Everyone's shown their hand. Everyone said, this is what I got for the first run. Everyone knows where the cutoff is. They know what they got to do. 72.3 is the score for Tobiasz Puszczan. 72.3, putting him into 2nd position so far.
Yeah, so we move it along back to the line. Zestino Tyres, this guy, the Drift Masters European Championship 2017 champion, Dave. The non-qualifier at round 1.
Yeah,
Big news.
broke 6 drive shafts in practice and couldn't make it to the start line of qualifying. It is Adam Zalewski, and Adam, only 18 years of age, the current reigning defending Drift Masters champion. He's got to get back in the fight, and he's got to do it now. Yeah, he said he's looking good in practice. He felt confident, and look at this from Zalewski as he fires that car in big smoke, big angle. Nice transition there from Zalewski now as he looks for the outer zone, almost tags the rubber wall here, but drops that inner zone. But Zalewski starts to pull it back together again. The 18-year-old defending champion looking strong this time around. What's impressive to me is if you look at the 2 transitions on the track, Ian, they are almost full throttle. I mean, you're staying in the transition, which is something completely different to Poland, where you're kind of letting off, transitioning. Very slow, left foot brake in. Yeah, it's very kind of slow and tidy transitions. Here, it's just hammer the throttle and stay through. So Adam Zalewski, can he start his campaign almost around late now? And yeah, an 83 for Adam Zalewski, and 83 for Adam Zalewski puts him into first position. He'll be happy with that one after a bad start in his home turf. He's here in Hungary making a name for himself once again.
Exactly. We move it to the line. The Norwegian, Daniel Sevak, currently sits on the line. S14, LS2, 748 horsepower. This guy, Norwegian champion.
Yeah, and of course these Norwegians, they don't play around.
No, they don't.
You know, you can see it from all across the world. Those guys go extremely, extremely hard.
So as we see Daniel Sevak off the line.
Yeah, throwing it in. I see a little bit of handbrake and then full throttle forward gear, trying to push it out. Now, what's interesting to note of why it's so difficult to get to those outer zones is it's on a banked circuit, so you got to push extremely hard to get out to the edge of those. And a nice tidy up here on that outer zone, inner zone, outer zone. That's what you got to see. And Daniel Sevak doing a great job as he finishes the run on the mid-track. Again, just that first outer zone seems to be really catching drivers. We watched it all the way through practice. Because it's an unnatural corner and also it's sort of banked away from you, you've got to commit almost to the point that you think you're going into the wall.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect line. So a little bit of risk reward and a lot of bravery needed to get that perfect run there.
Exactly. So we wait for the score for Daniel Sevak to drop in.
Yeah, Daniel looking very strong in practice. Again, putting another solid run in there, Ian. I think this is going to be a good score for him.
And as you can see, smoke lingering here.
It's a pretty crazy place, Ian. I'm just going to go out there and say it's a pretty crazy place. There's trees everywhere. There's a bar in the middle of the pits that has a tree growing through the middle of it. Yeah, through the middle of it. Okay, there you go. 70.7 for Daniel Sevak, 5th position so far. Not a bad start.
No, not a bad start to his weekend at all. And we go back to the line, and the insane Supra, all the way from Malta, Kane Pisani sits on the line. 2JZ, 780 horsepower. This guy, Drift All-Stars.
Yeah, he's even competed in Gymkhana in the past. So this guy's got a little bit of race heritage behind him, and he's been feeling out this car all day. Again, it looks like a fresh build to me. Yeah. Still a little bit of gremlins in there, but when it goes, it goes. It has got a hell of a lot of horsepower. 780 horsepower, 2JZ. Had a 2JZ in its natural habitat, Ian, which we rarely see.
Yeah, inside a Toyota Supra, as we see Kane Pisani fire it down, but a little bit scrappy on initiation. Didn't look like he had the confidence to send that car completely on opposite lock. Kind of pulls it together now, does Kane Pisani, and looks more at home here on this fast circuit than he did back in Poids just a week ago.
2 weeks ago, Ian.
2 weeks ago, sorry.
But it's okay, because Ian fell asleep for a week. He was that tired after Poids,
yeah,
so that's fine.
Tired, yeah.
So he puts the score on the board, and Kane Pisani now is awaiting his score. Again, a couple of sketchy moments.
Yeah.
Straightened up a little bit, coming towards outer zone 2. Had a couple of moments throughout the whole run. So I think the judges are going to watch those little nuances and pick apart some of that. And again, your negative scoring from that point. So I think we're going to see, sort of down lower to bottom, I think, but some work to do maybe for the second half.
Exactly, yeah. And a 46 there for Kane Pisani. As we go to the line now, this guy got my attention straight away as soon as we walked out and watched practice. Yes, this morning, this guy, Benedikt Cherba, sits on the line. This guy was sticking the rear end of this E46 BMW to the wall all the way around. Yeah, from first moment of practice yesterday, he was the one to watch. He looks so comfortable. I was hearing from some of the guys behind the scenes, it's a new build for him. He was in an S13 before this. He's now moved into the E46 BMW. He is finished 10th last year in the championship, so no mean feat. And I think this is going to be a big run. Yeah, this is going to be a good run from Benedikt as he fires that car in. Look at that, nice and deep into the outer zone. Very nice transition there. And then gets this car settled. And look at that, all the way to the wall. Gets off of it nice and early. Drops a wheel into that front box.
Look at that.
Tags the wall there. Brave stuff from Benedikt Cherba as he takes it across the line.
He's feeling good right now. He's feeling it right now, Ian.
There's a lot of guys, Dave, that I've noticed. We come from Pots, and some of those guys just didn't gel with the tight circuit. You get them on this fast-flowing circuit, and they have come alive. Yeah, and I think it's just, dice in the air now because everybody's going so hard. Everybody's got their car dialed in. So all those gremlins from round 1 of a championship gone. I think Benedictus here is going to put in a big score. So here it comes. What has Benedictus scored? An 80.3 for Benedictus Cherba. Nice run, second position so far. 80.3 is a perfect start. Yeah, exactly. So Mikkel Overgaard will be our next driver on the line. Danish driver, 29 years of age. He has competed in Gatbill, he's competed in Sweden, he's competed in Latvia, he's competed in Germany, and right now he's competing in Hungary. He's been all over the world. Mikkel Overgaard
in this 1JZ 730 horsepower S13, and he looked pretty confident. We spoke to him earlier on. He was pretty confident about this track. He said much preferred it to the original tight circuit in Płock. That's what this championship's all about making that diversity, variety of circuits, variety of styles. Let's see if he can make it count.
Yep, as Mikael Overgaard fires that car in and fires up a smoke screen, just misses Will. Oh, and a little bit of a straighten there from Mikael Overgaard. Gets into that outer zone. You can see the car now beginning to fill with smoke. Big issue for him in Płock was that car filling with smoke. Gets on the wrong line on the transition though and completely drops that last outer zone. So gonna hurt his score a little bit there.
For sure, and it's also one mistake, one moment where you go offline here and it messes up the whole run. Remember, it's all about fluidity. It's all about staying consistent throughout the run. It's all about essentially, from where I'm looking at, keeping that speed high, that aggression high. Yeah. And sometimes when you make that little wobble or you have a little bit of a moment, it can mess up a whole corner. I remember when there's only 3. You don't have like 662 like in Poland. There you go, 69 for Mikael Overgaard, 7th position so far. Something to build on.
Yeah, exactly. Some work to be done there for Mikael Overgaard, but looking good as we move it along to the line to Kasper Christensen.
Oh, it looks like he's having some trouble.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and not looking good for Kasper Christensen right now. As you can see himself out of the vehicle with some of our marshals pushing that car away from the start line. These guys, Dave, I'm going to put it out there, not looking very strong this weekend. Both cars having a few issues.
Yeah, and it looked like the bonnets were up a lot of the time. There was a lot of issues there. They've got an amazing team, amazing setup.
Good team.
Really nice guys. We were over there all morning having conversations with them. Really, really nice guys. But it looks like... Oh, so we're hearing from our
technical
advisors, it's a good name for them, that he forgot to put fuel in the car.
I mean, that's a basic. Tyres and fuel in a drift car and a driver.
He ran out of fuel on the start line. There you go.
Well,
so incredible stuff. Running out of fuel on the start line is not the perfect way to start qualifying, and it happens. You think about everything. You're thinking tire pressure, setup. You're thinking everything, and next thing,
no fuel. Yeah,
no fuel.
So that means that Kasper Christensen unfortunately will forfeit his first run, and we move it along to the next driver. That will be Ken Ekved, another Danish driver.
Yeah, another Danish driver. He started his career in 2009, won the semi-pro championship. Then he went pro in 2010, and he was the champion of Denmark in 2016. He's about 25 trophies, 25 podiums from national events. This is an LS3 turboed E92, 750 horsepower. And regardless of all that, it looks so cool. This is a cool car.
What a cool livery. He's got an absolutely cool bus down there. But having problems in practice, looked like he had a drive shaft issue or transmission issue. So in and out of the pits for Ken Ekved. So what has he got as he makes his way off the line? Can he put down a solid score in qualifying as he fires that car in? He gets on that wide line. Going to need to push very high to the back. Big flick onto the wall as he gets that car now transitioned back into that second outer zone.
Not bad from Ken Ekved so far. Filling up those outer zones. Could have been a little wider there. A little bit hesitant on the transition, but at that speed, I would be hesitant on the transition too. But again, the judges are going to mark it down. It is very difficult tracking. I mean, you can watch this, as a layman, you can watch it as a fan and say, hey, it's just a couple of corners. But when you're standing right here in the middle like me and Ian are, they are coming in hot, and it is so fast.
Yeah, very, very fast. A lot of the guys here in attendance are astonished by the speed that these guys enter into the wall. So what do we get for Ken Ekved as a score drops in? And a 70.7 there for Ken Ekved. So, guys, the judges are liking that one as we move it along to our next driver. That will be Kimi Mathiasen.
Yeah. Let's hope he put some fuel in the car, Ian, because his teammate did not, but maybe Kim stole all the fuel, put it in his car and said that's the easiest way to get one guy out of the competition. But he's another really nice guy. We were having a conversation with him this morning. The guys are meticulous with their builds. These Danish guys. It's an LS1 though, 500 horsepower.
Just looking at the spoiler there, Dave, you can see Kim been running the wall, I'd say, as the spoiler legs ever so slightly tilted.
Unless it's some sort of aerodynamic advantage we don't know anything about, Ian, but I think, yes, it's definitely contact with something in practice as he takes off the line. Kim Mathiasen is ready to throw it in. And a little bit hesitant on entry, a little bit of a slow entry.
Yeah, gets off the throttle, doesn't get in it nice and early now. That's not going to carry the speed, but he does manage to stand on the power. Oh, and shuts it down on the transition, so Judgy's going to be looking at that one.
Right, so he's getting where he needs to be, but that's where it's going to hurt you. Coming out of that second outer zone, a little bit of lack of pace, just couldn't push it out to that outer zone 3. And it was just a hesitant run. Yeah, it was a strange one.
Kind of, yeah, very, very tentative on the throttle. Judgy's going to be looking at that one quite heavily.
I mean, from where I'm sitting, the judges, of course, are which you guys can't see at home, but they're directly above us, if that makes sense, on another level. And they are obviously going to hear those throttle responses and hear that kind of a hesitant run. So we have 49.3 for Kim Mathiasen, 14th position so far. So just a strange one, like just sort of backed out of it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Not sure what he was thinking as we move it along to the next driver. That will be Daniel Janota.
Yeah, the Czech driver. And this thing could go. 860 horsepower in a hatchback. Welcome to drifting. Welcome to modern day drifting. You know, I've seen these go by me all the time on the road, and they're not that exciting. This one, on the other hand, is running a crazy 860 horsepower. And the Czech driver is going to take to this track and hopefully check all the boxes.
Yeah, weird transition, initiation, there, from Daniel. Kind of absolutely pinned through the gears, got to the initiation, went for a big flick and then shut it down. Put him on a weird line. He's managed to pull it back online now, but the initiation's going to really hurt his score.
That car looks like it has so much horsepower that you're just holding on. You're just holding on, and every time he puts the throttle down, it's just boom, smoke straight away. So it is a tricky car to drive, but it's definitely got the pace. If he gets through to the battles, I can see him causing some problems because of the pace he carries through the course.
Yeah.
But you got to be technical in qualifying to get through, and that's one of the most important things.
Exactly. So we wait for the score to drop in there from Daniel Janota.
Yeah, Janota, his 46.3, couple of mistakes, missing some zones and some twitchy transitions. And the judges, of course, at this level, if you're saying you want to be the true European champion, well, they're going to be harsh.
Yeah,
they're going to be expecting incredible stuff. Next up is the carbon fiber Mustang of the Danish driver Daniel Brandner.
No, Austrian, David, sorry.
Austrian, my mistake.
Yeah, Daniel Brandner. Now this guy, he had big problems in Płotsk. Taking that car to the wall, absolutely destroyed it. They took it back to Austria, got it back together again, some brand new carbon fiber panels. Struggling in practice though, not looking strong.
Yeah, letting all the V8 turbo, 800 horsepower, going very wide here though, and that's the line you want. Has done, makes a big, this looks like the steering just broke. Steering broke on the front of the car. That's what looks like happened there.
And you know what I was just going to say on the transition? This looks like a very good run from Brandner. This looked like it could go all the way up to the top, and a steering arm snapped on transition.
That is, you can see it clear as day on the live stream. Well, one wheel's going one way and one's not. So that's definitely a steering. I'm wondering, is that an issue caused by the accident in Płotsk?
Yeah.
Remember, that was only 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
but it was the other side they repaired, so I'm not sure exactly what's happened.
He's got his arm out the window. He's giving a little wave to our stewards. Yeah, this guy, always happy, always smiling, stoked to be here at this event.
And a very cool car, Ian, of course.
Yeah.
Bringing a Mustang carbon fiber bodied 800 horsepower turbo, but you got to have both your front wheels facing in the same direction, Ian. It makes it very difficult otherwise.
Yep, so that will be a 0 for Brandner right there. As you can see, we're going to try and get that guy recovered off circuit as quick as possible.
Yeah, not ideal, and of course leaves him on a 0 after the first run, which essentially means he's got to do it all in the second run. It's a high pressure situation in that.
Yeah, it's not easy. Listen, you know what it's like, Dave. You sit with a 0, you've got all the weight on your shoulders to pull it out of the bag for your second run, and especially an event like this with the amount of drivers and the level of drivers that we have, it is not easy to go and try and pull it all out of the bag in one run.
No, and again, we've had European championships in the past. You've got 20 guys, 30 guys, really good drivers from many different countries. But when you put 60 drivers from 20 countries together, any mistakes, and look there, you can see it, a snap on the steering arm. Do you know what type of steering arm that is, Ian? Because I'm going to say it's one of them.
I'm going to say that he's been very cheeky and converted this to a BMW running gear. Looks very much like a BMW front rack setup. So there you go. Just put it down there. Look at Brandner. Just broke his car. He's sitting on a 0, happy, sunglasses on. He's a cool dude. He's got a cool car.
It's a good way of getting attention on the live stream. just break the steering rack broken. That's what they're saying. So steering rack broken on the car. He's out now just for a bit of ovation, bit of photos on the track. Looks hard parked right now. Looking good, but they've got to go back into the pits and try and get this ready for the second half of qualifying. Not an easy task, especially with such a custom setup.
No, and as you can see, our Budmat lorry in attendance this weekend as well, Dave, and the most unique way of removing a damaged car off circuit.
They love lifting cars up into the sky. Every time I see it, I get a little bit. I'm not sure if that's the right idea, but it's pretty cool to watch.
Works, yeah.
Now this is a Mustang though, Ian. So at the end, you watch this, it's coming across. You can see as he transitions, you can see it just as he comes back on. The wheel doesn't even come back at all. It just
stays unlocked.
Stays where it is.
Wow, such a shame.
Yeah. Now, of course, now we're going to have to recover a car that weighs more than the truck that's actually picking it up. Of course, you know, Mustang's pretty heavy, so they got to strap it up, get it up onto the truck, and Brandner will have to go back in his place. Now, what they said to me around one was that they had a lot of spare parts for this car. Then they used them all 2 weeks ago in Poland because there was a lot of damage done to the car front and rear. I'm wondering, do they have the spare parts in stock there to get that thing back going? Well, let's hope they do.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know they're a very, very good team. Like you say, they was welding hubs together. They were repairing a lot of damaged stuff. I can't see the team not having the parts, and I know Daniel would have been straight on the radio saying to those guys, look, get a rack out, get some steering arms out, let's get this car together. I want to get in that top 32.
Absolutely. Of course, remember, only 32 drivers qualifying from a possible, I think we're down to 54 drivers now with some mechanical issues for some guys. So that's like half the gridding. I'm no mathematician, but it's less than half the grid. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a knife-edge qualifying session right now on a track that is knife-edge, and you can't make any mistakes. The moment you make a mistake here, we saw some pretty heavy hits in practice. It looks a little easier than it is, but you make one error here, you go into a very, very hard wall, and I don't think you're going to get that fixed.
No, exactly. No, it's very, very dangerous. And also to note, Dave, we're a long way from home for some of these guys. Some of these guys have travelled a long way. There's no Hungarian drivers at this round. You know, at Drift Masters European Championship, very exclusive. Using the same drivers all around. We're not using drivers from the local championship. So a lot of these guys have driven, you know, Germany, Czech Republic, Norway, Sweden. They're a long way from home. So these guys are going to be fighting for it, Dave. They're hungry for it, you know?
They are hungry for it. Well done, Ian. We tried to avoid that for the whole day.
I was trying to get it in subtly, and then you just...
Yep. We're not allowed to use that pun at all this weekend. It's against the rules. Scrutiny is said. So now we are lifting. I mean, that is a reasonably heavy car to lift onto a truck. We're going to lift Brandy Brenner's car onto the back of the recovery truck, remove him from the circuit, and continue with the qualifying session. At the moment, we haven't seen someone light up the scoreboard. We haven't seen someone come out. And now remember, we're in the reverse championship order, so the guys that finished, you know, Conor Shanahan will be the last driver to go in the first half and second half of qualifying due to his first place finish at Płock in Poland. And it will be, of course, the rest of the grid before him. So interesting to see if the 14-year-old or now 15-year-old Wonder Kid can stick it up here. And to be honest, you know, when he came into Poland, a lot of people were saying he's a novelty act.
Yeah.
We saw it in practice this morning. He was having the roughest practice I've ever seen him have. Everyone was pushing him around the track. He's now elevated himself to target status. And now, of course, James Dean and all these guys are saying, well, you're not going to have it so easy the next time. There's no more surprises.
No, exactly. Look, for me, Conor Shanahan came out and practiced this morning. Everyone was expecting big things, and he delivered. His practice runs today, all day, were absolutely on form. He had a perfect line, good speed, good angle, good smoke. But the problem was, when we went into twin battle practice, everybody was hunting down that 15-year-old kid because they knew if he had a good line, he was the guy to chase. He was the one to try and mirror. He was the one, you could judge your speed, you could judge your angle, your line. He was the guy, you know, he was the man of the moment.
Absolutely, and of course we will remove the injured Mustang of Daniel Brandner from Austria, and we will continue with our next driver on the grid very, very soon. And it is going to be Maciek Jarkiewicz, the Polish driver. He's been drifting since 2010. 2JZ, 700 horsepower Toyota Supra. And this is, of course, I mean, I'm kind of liking these guys running the Supras because one, Supras are cool. Two, they started the Fast and the Furious. And three, that's where the 2JZ was born. So it's back in its home, and this thing goes. Last round, if you remember, that Jarkiewicz had to run his backup car, his S13 V8, so he's back in his first choice this time, and the car was ripping in practice.
Yeah, this car looked absolutely on form, and again, another car, another driver that suited a fast-flowing circuit. So we're expecting good things from Jarkiewicz. We await to get him off the line. And he gets the green light, Dave, and he is good to go. So off the line, Maciek Jarkiewicz.
And here we go. Let's see what that big 2JZ Supra has got as he throws it in. Not too much weight transfer. Nice steady entry. A nice wide line, very wide line, running the outer zone perfectly. Snappy transition. Can he stay on that outer line? Throws it to the wall and holds it. Nice run from Maciek Jarkiewicz as he now puts the foot to the floor, hammering fourth gear. As that's a very good run, Ian. Exceptional, especially when you expect these guys who didn't perform so well in Poland to come straight out the box now. I'm impressed straight away.
I mean, look at that. From my point of view, that's a very high scoring run. Deep in all the zones. I mean, the transition off of the outer zone to the front transition, you know, kind of a bit scrappy. But you know what? I'm going to say Judge is going to score that one high.
You know, we're going out on a limb. But I'm saying he didn't do too much wrong there. A couple of could have been a little bit better here and there on the transitions, but it was a nice fluid run. And again, going to show a lot of these guys, now look at that, 85.3 from Maciej Jarkovic, puts him into first position. And Ian, we've got a fight in our hands this weekend.
Yeah, 100%. Look, like you say, a lot of these guys coming out of the bag this weekend. Another guy looking to do well, Paweł Korpolinski, sits on the line. This guy taken down by Steve Baggsy Biagioni in top 32 battles at Płock round 1. This guy going to be looking for revenge and make his way into top 32.
Yeah, he's considered top 3 ranking in the Polish National Series. The Drift Open. Let's see what he can do. Paweł Korpolinski. Nice little weight transfer. I love the sound of this car. It just looks exceptional. Nice modern chassis and absolutely hammering the throttle there. No let up whatsoever as he now takes it to that second outer zone. Korpolinski, 815 horsepower in this car, and every bit of it being squeezed as he accelerates through those last couple of zones. Fantastic run.
Look, we're going through these guys now. The skill, the speed, and what these guys are pulling out of the bag is just getting better and better. Korpolinski putting on a real show for us right here at Máriapócs in Hungary. But what do the judges think of it, Dave?
Yeah, there was a couple of areas he could have improved, but what I really like is that his fluidity, his speed, his angle was consistent.
Impact,
It had a lot there. 82 on the board straight away. Well, I think it's safe to say right now, Ian, the Polish came to play this weekend in Hungary.
Listen, they got beaten in their home ground. What can they do? Another Polish driver steps up to the table. Dariusz Fabiszak, the 37-year-old Polishman, Nissan 200SX S15 3UZ FE, 650 horsepower.
Yeah, had to Google what a 3UZ FE was last week, Ian, but it's from a modern Lexus V8, so I now know. I'm in the know. But this guy can absolutely tear it through this course. And it's an amazing looking car also. And look at that, very sharp transition into the first corner. Look at this transitioning. That is a very unnatural transition. A lot of drivers saying it's a bit challenging to try and keep speed while changing direction so rapidly from right to left, but a good job by Dariusz Fabiszak.
Yeah, a couple of errors there as Dariusz just failed to get all the way into that outer zone, missed the front clipping point, struggled to get onto the other outer zone on the wall. Yeah, a few mistakes, it fell apart towards the end of the run. Like you say, shame because it had a very nice initiation, very snappy on the handbrake. So.
Yeah, and of course, what I like about this track, and we didn't have it in Poland, was there's a lot of expression.
Yeah.
On the initiation here, the judge is saying it's open.
Yeah.
You can do what you want to do. So that expression means you can come with the weight transfer, a big flick, handbrake, 61 on the board for Dariusz Fabiszak. 13th position so far, but as I was mentioning, Ian, you can show off a little bit here.
Yeah.
You can come in on that big angle. If you get that transition, that snappy transition, the first one, you can bang on the angle and just smoke out that outer zone.
Exactly.
That's what the judges are going to want to see, and it gives it a little bit of the field, a little bit to think about. It's not just about getting around the track and surviving, which it very much was in Poland. It was survival of the fittest. Come home with your car in one piece, you're a winner. Here, you got to be a little riskier, and you got to come in at much more pace. Next up, Kajetan Rutina.
Yeah, Kajetan Rutina not looking too good in practice. This guy saying that 500 horsepower was struggling on this circuit as he fires that car into the outer zone. Looking good so far though as Kajetan pilots.
Really nice run so far, Ian, as he absolutely tears through. The camera is barely able to keep up with the speed of the cars through the course here. And when you're saying 500 horsepower, it just might not be enough for this track. You get an idea of how fast it is.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, Kajetan's saying, 500 horsepower, struggling with the level of grip and the speed and the pace to keep up with the rest of the guys. So, it gives you a balance of how fast it is. AMG V8 supercharged under the bonnet. Like we say, 500 horsepower. But what does Kajetan score on his first run?
I think it's going to be a reasonably good score, Ian. He was technically quite good across the whole board there. I'd expect him to be rewarded for the judges for that.
Yeah, exactly. So the score drops in. Yeah, and a 77 there for Kajetan Rutina.
Yeah, the Polish guy's coming strong right now, Ian.
Listen, I think they got beaten on their home ground. They was like, we're not letting our championship slip away again.
No, but one man who has plenty of championships under his belt is Yanis Iglite. 4-time Latvian champion, 2-time Baltic champion, second place in the Drift All-Stars European Championship. He's a man that has dominated Eastern Europe for a long time.
Yeah.
Didn't get the result he wanted at round one. Expect the hunger to be strong with Yanis Iglite now in his LS1 twin turbo, 800 horsepower, tri-ace tires, E46. And this thing absolutely goes when he puts the throttle down. And look at this thing right to the outside. Clutch kicking that car at full throttle to make sure it's an aggressive run as possible.
Yeah, looking good so far as Yanis Iglite as he sticks that car all the way to the wall, nearly tags the back end of that E46 BMW on the wall. pulls it across the line. A very good run there for Yanis Inglite.
Yeah, exceptional stuff. How close he came to that outer tyre wall was.
I mean, that's dangerous because, like me and you were talking about earlier, Dave, it sticks out. So if you tag it, you're not going to avoid it. You're going to hit more of the wall.
You're going to die. You're going to die if you hit that wall, because that wall is going to just flip a car over. And just to go, look how close he dices with death there as the rear end of that car, boom, and the transition almost on the wall again. That is going to impress the judges. I think that aggression, we're going to see some high scores coming in here. Maybe not perfect in everywhere, but a lot of impact, a lot of aggression from Yanis Inglite, and it's what we expect from him.
Exactly. So score drops in from Yanis Inglite and a 79. A 79 for Yanis Inglite.
Yeah, 5th position so far. As we roll it on to our next driver, it will be Ivo Cirulis.
Yep.
Cirulis for the Latvian driver. So we got Yanis Inglite put a score on the board. Now it's 5th position. Let's see what another Latvian driver can do. It is Ivo Cirulis running a 2JZ 670 horsepower. He's the 2010 Baltic champion, and he has a lot of podiums in Latvia. This guy comes with a pretty big credential list, and look at this initiation.
Yeah, big initiation there from Ivo Cirulis. Not looking good in practice, but I tell you what, Dave, it looks like he's pulled it out of the bag for qualifying, because this is looking strong so far for Ivo. Takes that car all the way to the wall, just drops the wheel in a small steering correction there to get that front clipping point. Gets in it, gets that car washed out back onto the wall again and takes it across the line.
And as far as I'm concerned, a lot of guys up in their game here, Ian, from practice to qualifying. And of course, a lot of guys don't want to risk the car in practice either, saying, look, I got to get this thing to qualify, because that's where you score the points. Can't win practice.
No, exactly.
So again, a lot of guys find that extra 10% now that we get to when it's scored by the judges. So I think he's up this game. I think he's going to be sitting somewhere in the mid-pack maybe at the moment. Not the perfect run, but something special. But 75 on the board for Ivo Cirulis, 8th position so far. Again, a lot of guys in the 70s and 80s right now. We haven't seen someone break the mold, and could it be our next driver, Andreas Vasiliauskas, another Latvian driver, stacking up 800 horsepower. And this thing is a smoke machine.
This guy as well, Dave, was looking untouchable in practice. The wall run on the final outer zone, Vasiliauskas was getting so close that Kevin O'Connell, our judge, was holding his breath because he thought he was going to go over it.
Do you want to know an interesting fact about Andreas Vasiliauskas? Has never finished lower than 3rd in any championship he's ever entered. Well, look at this as he throws it into that first corner on maximum attack.
Oh, look at this from Vasiliauskas. Just tags that outer zone. It gets nice transition into that front one. You can see the crowd, hands in the air, applauding Vasiliauskas as he completely smoke screens our cameras here in Máriapócs. And again, all the way to the wall and across the line. Look at the smoke screen from that car.
We may have to get infrared cameras to follow him through here, because you can see nothing when he's on track.
Can you imagine trying to chase that guy in twin battle?
I'm glad I don't have to. I'm glad I don't have to. There's 54 guys out there that want to, but I'm not one of them.
Yeah, exactly. So
that is a tough car to chase, and it's what the judges will look for: that impact, that speed, that aggression, and the initiation with the flick entry, weight transferring. I think it's going to be a good score.
So what is a Latvian score? An 84 for
Andreas Vasiliauskas, number 999. Well, you better call the police, because he just stole the show.
Wow.
Andreas Vasiliauskas moves into what I would imagine a very comfortable position. Our next driver has been struggling a little bit in practice today, Max Heidrich. He's been struggling a little bit. Now we move on to the German contingent.
Yeah, we move on to the German contingent, like you say, Dave. And like you say, again, this guy not looking so strong here this weekend at Máriapócs. Just can't seem to get the car dialed, just can't seem to get the car on the wall and the line right. And listen, we say it looks easy, it does look easy, but it's very difficult.
For sure, Max Heidrich, 700 horsepower, 2JZ. Representing Parts 33 in Durst. He has been a little sketchy today, but he's had success on this track previous years. He's got to pull it out of the bag here, and again, clutch kicking on initiation shows he's got that confidence back. Yeah,
this looks good so far. Can he get to outer zone? He can't, he just falls off of it. Transitions in front of the grandstand. It gets back onto the outer zone now. Heidrich really needs to try and claw as many points together as he can. As top 32 is looking packed so far as he takes it over the line.
That last transition is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Full throttle, snappy transition, and that is just, I haven't seen a transition like that on very few courses. Something very special about it. Definitely gets me excited every time I see it. I'm sure you guys at home are the same, but what will Max Heidrich score on his first run? Missed one outer zone, but everything else looked tidy enough.
Exactly. So we wait for the score to drop in there from Max Heidrich. And a 75 there. Judges liking that one, even though with a few mistakes at the beginning.
Yeah, he's got room to improve there, which is a positive note for him. If he tidies up that outer zone 1, he could be right up into the 80s there.
Exactly.
No problem.
Back on the line, GT Radio, René Potts, again, another driver all the way from Germany. This guy having multiple contacts with the wall in Potts.
He was trying to knock them down. He told me later.
Like a game of dominoes.
Yeah, he was saying, I'm going to knock all the walls down. But right now the car is back in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's just one. So my mistake that Vasilievskis is a Lithuanian driver, not Latvian. My mistake, of course. I got a little bit confused. Next up, we got René Potts, German driver, as we mentioned, IS 200, 1.5 JZ, 750 horsepower. Oh, having some trouble here.
Yeah, not looking good. You know what? I didn't want to say it, but he's not looking good in practice. Looked like Carl's struggling. You could see it in the pits constantly. The guy's working on it. Unfortunately, his teammate Axel Mack not making it either. Problems with the car. So, Team GT Radial right now not looking too strong, Dave.
No, and you know what? It's a tough game, especially when you've got some impacts. You've built these cars to a high standard, and then you go out to qualifying, or you have a big impact with the wall, and you know you've got to get the car ready in 2 weeks' time for another big showdown, and the car isn't 100%. Then you got to go throw it at fourth gear at another wall. So it's a little unnerving for any human being out there, Ian, to think it's all your money, all your pride, everything into this car, and you got to throw it in at high speeds here. And when you're not 100% confident in the steering or what the car's handling like, you end up with a 19.7, and I think René's got some room to improve, of course. And you know what? He's pulled it out of the bag in the past.
He has pulled it out of the bag in the past. We move it along to the next driver, which is Mikael Reichert, the Czech driver, running the M3 E92 with an M50 under the bonnet, 900 horsepower, Dave. Just 900. Just a mere 900 horsepower.
It's not much, is it?
No, it's not a lot.
No.
It's not a lot at all. And as you can see,
who does he think turning up with such an underpowered car?
Mikael taking that car to the wall already, and this guy looking stronger and stronger with every single run he's done at this circuit. And look at this confidence, big initiation there from
That's
Mikael.
what we want to see. That's pure confidence on initiation. Look at this.
Mikael takes it to the wall, Dave.
Mikael Reichert doing a phenomenal job tagging the rear end. This is a big run so far. Can he finish it off? Look at this. I don't know if there's much more you can do than that, Ian. That is phenomenal.
Wow, Mikael Reichert just stole the show right there. Unbelievable run for Mikael Reichert. That initiation, the aggression with a flick was just insane.
I don't know if there's much more you can do than that, Ian. I think that's pretty much what the judges were looking for.
Yeah, I think, listen, I'm going to go and say that's nearly a 90-point run. If it's not a 90 yet already.
I think it's up there.
You reckon?
I think it's up there. I think it's going to be it's going to be right up there. If not first, it's very close.
That's a strong run. So
it was high impact, lots of aggression, took the risks.
Yeah.
Went in hot to the first corner on a double initiation, or as I was calling it, a big feint entry.
Feint entry, yeah.
And it ain't easy here.
No, it's not.
So let's see what he does. I think it's going to be a big score, and will he get on? Look at that, 81.7, fifth position. So our judges spotting some stuff that we're not spotting, Ian. And look, to be honest with you, our vantage point is the same as you guys at home on the live stream. The judges actually have a better view, to be honest. They're on a full 360-degree view above us, so must have been some mistakes along the way.
Yeah, exactly. We go to the line. Alexander Kantorowski representing Australia right now. This guy not having the best of time in practice, taking it to the wall.
Yeah, had a big impact with Enver Haskasap. Both guys had to be lifted out of the circuit, but it looked like they've got this car back together. And a very aggressive driver, and this thing is insane. SR 2.2, I think probably the last SR20 left alive on this grid, but it's still running 700 horsepower.
Yeah, I mean, crazy stuff there from Alexander Kantorowski, almost tagging the rear end, but missing a few clipping points and drops way down.
Yeah, it just looked like that car hesitated a little bit coming through the last corner and didn't get to that outer zone at all. Again, you know, when the track is only 15, 16 seconds long, you can't afford to miss anything.
No, exactly. Like you say, you can't afford to make a mistake or drop a clipping point. So we wait to see how the judges score Alexander Kantorowski.
I'm thinking this is going to be an unpredictable weekend, Ian.
Very
I'm
much.
just saying, it's not business as usual here at Dawn. Guys are stepping up. You know, at round one, a lot of guys saying, are these really the best 60 in Europe? I think today we're starting to see everybody rise to the top.
Yeah, exactly. Like we say, the diverse tracks as well, the tight technical and the fast and flowing. But first of all, what does Alexander Kantorowski score? So that's a 56. So a 56 there for Alexander Kantorowski. He's dropped him in the 21st position so far.
Yeah, moving along, it is going to be the Finnish driver, Juha Poitalaxo. He is the current Finnish champion and current Drift GP champion, the old European series. So he comes in here, as always, as a big favourite.
Yeah, this guy, look, he rocks up, 2 cars identical. He is coming for business. This guy's not messing around. Comes off the line, 900 horsepower under the bonnet, S50.
Yeah, this is an E92 with a 4 Series front end. Looks awesome, but more awesome than that is how he drives it. Look at him hammering the throttle and almost running out of legs a little bit there.
Yeah, looks like he left the pace for the transition, like you say, Dave. Looks like he made a bit of a straight, but gets back in it, takes it to the wall. And can point to finishes right off in the start when he can.
I've just been thinking, how are they going to twin battle here with this amount of speed and smoke? It's going to be, like, you have to follow a guy here, and you have no idea what's on the other side. That's what I'm thinking. If you're going through a transition here, you're just hitting and hope. You got to look at that rear bumper and say, that's the only reference point I have in the world, and I got to go for it. You drop a car length here, you're not going to see anything.
No, listen, talking to some guys that have done well here in the past, Bagsy, James Dean, they're saying if you're not bumper to bumper, door on door, you can't see anything and it's over. So we'll see how that one goes on. But right now we get a score of 82 for Juha Poitalaxo.
That's a very solid run for a first half of qualifying. 82.3 puts him in the 4th position so far. Nothing wrong with that. Next up, first of the Irish, Nigel Colfer representing Acorn Insurance, ST Suspension. Nigel struggling a little bit when he was in practice.
Yeah, I mean, this guy having problems. Snapped the prop shaft at round 1, took the diff out of the car, not looking good. Big problems last time the car had to get that car back together again, but Nigel Colfer looking good in practice. Can he hold it together as he fires that? Whoa, Jay-Z, 180 SX in. Nice transition there from Nigel Colfer. Very tidy from Colfer on the wall.
Yeah, they were up all late last night repairing this car. The damage sustained in Poland cracked the gearbox bell housing, and they had to weld it together and then put it back together this morning. The guys are very tired over there in that team, but it's all worthwhile when you put in a run like that.
Listen, a very, very good run there from Nigel Colfer. Very technical, and you know what? That guy always cool, calm and collected, no panicking. Very, very smooth driver. So what does the judges take on this one?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was a technical run. It wasn't spectacular, but it was what he needed to do. And he's a very, he's a long time in the European game, Nigel Colfer, 77.7. Here's the score, 9th position for Nigel Colfer. And for me, what that says is essentially that he's just feeling his way into the circuit. As he often says, he builds himself up over the weekend.
Yeah,
Next up, man that wowed us in twin battles. I mean, one of my favorite drivers on the grid right now is Eli Hutunji. He is one of the Red Bull Drift brothers from Germany. He is driving, what is it, insane LSX 454 crate motor, 700 horsepower E30, and he is just killing it today.
Yeah, this guy, whoa, hops a wheel on initiation, Dave. That was insane. Look at that, so far out. He's wow, Eli Hutunji tagging the wall.
He's coming in hot. It might not be perfect, but goddamn, it's entertaining.
This is insane from Eli Hutunji. This guy looking for style points off the bat as he sends it to that final outer zone and across the line. I want to see that wheel hop on initiation. That was incredible.
His tire lifted off the ground.
Watch the wheel. Boom.
That much grip that he lifted a wheel on initiation that went so wide he had to run the wall.
But precision, Dave, tags it, stays in it.
He makes the error, he misses the inside clipping zone.
But listen, for me, stick him right up the top because that was impressive.
On our scoreboard, Ian, that was like he's number 1 because he did something. He lifted a wheel and he hit the wall and kept it going. But on a technical standpoint, he's going to lose some points, I think, for that one. But it was pretty, I mean, he went in hot. Yeah,
the initiation was very brave. And you know what, for the style points and the impact, look at that, a 76 there for Eli Hutunji.
And without those mistakes, you know what I mean? He could have been right up there. So I think, you know, he's got to dial it back to maybe like just 10, not 11.
Not 11.
On the second one, and he'd be all good. Next up, another man that looks like the fastest man on the circuit. It is Grzegorz Hipki, Polish driver, had an epic encounter with Eli Hutunji at round 1, the German driver, but this car was wheeling around outer zone 2 earlier on. The front wheel wasn't even on the ground. There was that much grip dialed into the car. Nobody could catch him. Well, let's see if it makes the difference here in qualifying. Yeah, off the line at Grzegorz Hipki. What can he do? This guy, like you say, Dave, looking very, very strong. Fires that car in. Nice pace as he sticks it to the outer line and gets nice and deep into the outer zone. Very shallow transition there, but judge is going to you know what? Very fluid at the same time, but he misses that inner clip.
Kind of got to the outer zone a little bit too early and put him offline. There was a slightly looks like he's pulled it back, but yeah, he came off of that. He got into that outer zone a little bit too early, so kind of on the wrong line.
And I mean, I think where Hipke's going to shine is in the battles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where he's going to be shining. He's got the pace, he's got the aggression, he's definitely not afraid to go close. He just needs to get the job done here today in qualifying, and let's see what his first score is.
Yep, so as we wait for the score to drop in there for Grzegorz Hipke.
I mean, he's been impressing me right from the off in practice in round 1. 81 on the board for Grzegorz Hipke, 7th position. And he means business. He's in the game right now.
Yeah, we move it along to his teammate on the line, Krzysztof Romanowski. Now this guy lost the door
and the windscreen
on his last practice run, and he's made it back to the line.
I mean, I've heard of people going door to door before, but he almost ran over his own.
He was door on the wall, windscreen over the wall. It was insane.
But insane is exactly what he's all about as he throws it in. Look at that bonnet flex. The speed he's coming into that first corner. And this is another great motor, LSX 454 on an E30, and it's fast, but a little bit sketchy right now.
Yeah, a little bit sketchy, but kind of gets them out of zones. This guy looking super fast at round 1 in Watts, and now starts to put it together as he takes it home, lifting a wheel there, Dave, as he comes across the line.
Those two E30s, they're teammates.
Fast.
The Drift Warriors, they call themselves, and they are fast. Whatever they've done to those E30s this weekend, they are one of the fastest setups I've ever seen in a car. They come around here accelerating when people are slowing down.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. So where does the Polishman land with the judges' score?
Yeah, Romanowski's up next, and let's see how he gets on. 76, 13th position for Romanowski. Puts him into 13th position, 76 points on the board. You know what? Not bad for the first half of qualifying.
No, we move it back to the line. The Englishman, Steve Bagsi-Biagioni, sits on the line. Knocked himself out of competition in top 16 from Conor Shanahan. Collision with the back of that car, knocked him out. The guys at SB Motorsport got that car fixed, back together again, looking stronger than ever. But what can Bagsy do?
Yeah, he's an ex-British Drift Championship winner representing the UK. He's even beaten James Dean on this circuit many years ago. And that is an aggressive entry in.
Yeah, very, very nice from Bagsy. Big flick on initiation, a very nice transition there. One of the only guys you see actually get that car from angle to angle and just about collects that front clip. Like you say, Bagsy shines on the circuit here at Máriapócs as he takes it over the line.
Yeah, it's taken some time to get into the rhythm this weekend for Bagsy, but it looks like he's starting to pick up the pace here a little bit. Missing a couple of those perfect outer zones, but again, transitions were nice and fast and fluid. Judges will reward him for that. I think there's room to grow there.
Room to grow, yeah, definitely.
But definitely a strong showing for the first half of qualifying.
So as we wait for Bagsy's score to appear on
these runs are over before we even really get time to think about them. It's like
it's just that quick. Yeah.
It's like a crazy sideways acceleration drag race walls madness. 71.7 for Steve Bagsi-Biagioni, 18th position in the standings so far. Remember, each driver gets 2 runs with their best run counting as their overall run score. The top 32 runs, well, they're going to go into the battles tomorrow. Next up, it is Bartosz Stolarski. Bartosz?
Yeah, Bartosz Stolarski looking very, very good in practice, Dave. This guy putting it to the door of James Dean's car, and when they swapped it around, James Dean didn't have the pace for Bartosz. So this guy knocked out of competition by James Dean at round 1, looking to seek revenge as the Polishman comes off the line. LS2 turbo, 1100 horsepower, a big straight line initiation. Not what the judges were looking for at all.
No, had a big error, had to back out of that one, Ian, and pull it back again because essentially he was going to go into the wall. So he has to back out, try and salvage those points around now. And remember, such a fluid and fast track, one of those errors can cost you an entire corner. And when it's 1 of 3, that's a big deduction. So he'll know himself, I think, in the car. Probably not the perfect run for him. And yeah, you know, he was very close to taking down James Dean around 1 in pole, and he'll need to step things up a little bit for the second half of qualifying.
Exactly. So Bartosz Stolarski, like we say, 1100 horsepower LS2 turbo. That's just 1100 horsepower.
I mean, that's like ridiculous.
It's just
for a sport that people kind of build these things in sheds and workshops. That's a little bit ridiculous. I mean, it took Volkswagen like 10 years to build a Veyrod, and that's only 1,000 horsepower.
So the score drops in for Bartosz as he scores a 60 and gets him into 26th position.
26th position for Bartosz Stolarski. And he's got a little bit of room to improve there. I mean, sitting in 26th, you're near the drop zone. That's not where you want to be.
No, exactly. And we move it back to the line where we will see Sebastian Fontaine, the 25-year-old Dutch driver, a whole host of trophies in his cabinet.
Yeah, and his short career too. The Flying Dutchman ready to leave the line. Not looking as comfortable here as he did in Poland, though. So
No.
he's got another driver that's going to have to step it up, I think, a little bit for qualifying and go really, really hard into that first corner. He was just looking a little bit sketchy. A couple of straightens in practice, and we were watching Ian saying, you know what, this might not suit him here. But again, Sebastian's shown time and time again he can get it done when it needs to be. And look at this initiation,
And
very
again,
aggressive.
Another guy throwing it all on the line. Yeah, looks like the car doesn't have the legs, but did the team work hard and get it back together again? I see those changing dips earlier in the paddock, and look at this. Looks like those got that car absolutely dialed now. Sebastian Fontaine.
Oh, shutting it down.
Wow.
Sebastian Fontaine shuts it down, and that will be a 0 by my account. And what has happened there? Looked like he was on for not the perfect run, but a good run all the same.
Yeah, a good high-scoring run there as he comes to the wall. And looks like, you know what, might not be an issue with that car. As he heads off to the back of the circuit, we make it official.
Yeah, that is going to be a 0 on the board for Sebastian Fontaine, putting him outside that top 32. So, you know what? That's pressure on now.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now as we move it along to the next Red Bull Drift brother on the line.
Yeah, Joe Hutunji. He is the current reigning King of Europe champion in 2017. He is driving this is another car with an LSX 454 crate motor, but it's a little bit different. It's sort of a pickup truck with a Mitsubishi Galant front and wrapped up in Red Bull livery. And you know what? It works.
Yeah, it
and
works very
Joe
well.
can drive it.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, I mean, he had some seriously good battles at round 1 in Płotsk. But first of all, before we see him go to battle, we've got to see him put down at the qualifying run of his life. Can he beat his brother?
Yeah, and at the moment, you know, he was looking both guys were looking very strong in practice. They're very technical drivers, Ian. I mean, I'm not sure if it's a German thing, but they're very meticulous.
Efficient.
Meticulous in the way they ask the questions to the judges to make sure they know exactly what's needed. So I think they're coming in, but they ain't afraid to throw it very hard into that first corner as Joe Hutunji gets it out to that outer zone. Looking good so far.
Yeah, nails it to the wall now. Can he get onto that outer zone? He can as he hangs the spoiler all the way to the rubber wall, gets to that front clipping point. And Joe Hutunji right now looking strong as he takes it to the tyre wall and over the line. A very, very good run there.
Another good
Joe
run.
Hutunji.
I think the judges are going to like that one in. Fluid, nice snappy transitions, took it to the outer zones. Maybe not
Smooth,
maybe not scraping bumpers, but enough to get the points and get the wheels into those zones. And Joe Hutunji, I remember in reverse championship order, he's sitting up there in the mix at the moment, wants to put some scores on the board. Remember, there is championship points for qualifying positions.
Exactly.
So that's going to make a difference, these guys, when they start to get to that business end. 68.7, though, for Joe Hutunji, not scoring as high as maybe he would have liked, puts him into 23rd position.
Yes, he's going to be looking to improve that most definitely as we move it along to this guy, your man, on the start line.
Yeah, I call him the next big thing.
The next big thing right now, Paweł Borkowski sits on the line. Now this guy, another guy, come out and practice, Dave, and looked untouchable.
Yeah, 700 horsepower. Very similar car in setup in terms to James Dean's S14. I'm not sure if that's a coincidence, but you know what? He's been watching a bit of James Dean, but he did beat James Dean last year in Poland. And he had mechanical difficulties at round 1 that couldn't, you know, I was picking him for the podium. Wasn't even his fault. But look at this from Paweł Borkowski. And a little bit of the front brake even used there to extend that drift. And that shows a natural driver ability. And I'm loving the way this guy drives this year.
Yeah, this is looking good so far. Paweł almost taking the wall with the front and the rear bumper as he fills that outer zone. Looking strong right now as Paweł Borkowski.
I'm just thinking this guy, get him in a twin battle. I mean, we watched him in qualifying at round 1. He qualified in the top 5. He got knocked out from a drive shaft failure as he got to his top 16 battle. But get him into those battles, and he is a beast. Like, he is a dog with a bone. I think this could be a huge score for him. I'm just saying, next big thing.
It looked technically correct.
Oh, 87 on the board. 87 on the board for Paweł Borkowski. First position. I told you, Ian. I told you. Just be patient. Just be patient. And here we go. This is a man that nobody could catch in practice.
No.
The fastest car in the world around this circuit is Paweł Trella's crazy Opel GT.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everyone was saying speed and pace, get it down to this, because this guy is looking untouchable fast. Listen, we're about to find out how fast he is as Paweł Trela comes off the line for his first qualifying run. Can he carry that momentum through practice and qualifying as he fires that Opel GT in? Oh, with a tentative entry. Oh,
he's got a problem. He's got a problem here. That's a mechanical failure for Paweł Trela. And you know what? That's harsh. Harsh because he was so on it in practice.
And you know what? It looked like he had technical problems earlier on. His pits are literally opposite from where me and Dave are standing in the commentary tower. And we could see him working on the car with his team. Looked like they were fighting some issues, and it looks like he hasn't got rid of them gremlins.
No, and the whole rear end of that car comes off. And again, Ian, I never pretend to know that anything about these cars, but you can take the whole back end and the whole front end off this car, and it looks kind of like a dune buggy.
Yep.
And with two massive washing machine ducts on the back. I'm not even sure what's going on with it, but a 0 on the board is so unfortunate.
And look at that, Jack Shanahan sits on the line, punching the driver's window. This guy having technical issues. Another guy falling foul to drive shaft problems at round 1 in Płotsk. Looking to get some revenge here, and his 15-year-old brother. Can Jack Shanahan climb up the leaderboard and start pulling some points back to 2017?
Irish Drift champion. And
oh, wow, big from Jack Shanahan as he fires that car on a big aggressive opposite flick. Carries the momentum all the way to the wall. Nice fluid transition now, starts to get to the outer zone again. Doesn't get all the way to the wall. And looking a little bit scrappy at the end of this run, Dave.
Yeah, missing a couple of the outer zones there is Jack Shanahan, and missing that outer zone 3 completely. So I'm sure that Jack could know himself, as he is such an experienced driver, that the car is fast for sure, looks aggressive, lots of nice transitions, but maybe not the perfect run in the first half. But it's only the first half. Remember, this is like they get 2 runs. If you can just go out there and make sure you put something on the board for the first. And I think from Jack Shannon's point of view, a couple of opportunities missed there.
Yeah, exactly. So as the score drops in, a 69.3 there for Jack Shanahan puts him into 23rd position. So a 69, like you say, Dave, work to be done, but Jack will be happy with a score on the board as we move it along to the next driver. Now, this guy has had a battering all day.
He has been in 2 fairly major crashes in the last hour and a half, and he's still back on the line. Enver Haskasap, he qualified in the top 3 at round 1. He came from nowhere, and now he's the man to watch.
Yeah, this guy looking strong in practice, looking very, very fast. Looks like he's got the pace. But what has Enver Haskasap got as he absolutely lights up the tyres on the back of his S15? Drift new, fires in, big angle there from Enver Haskasap. Just catches the outside of the outer zone. Not as deep as what the judges wanted to see, but right now I think Enver Haskasap is just looking to get a score on the board.
Another car lifting a front wheel as it comes up over that hill out of that second corner. And Enver, he is aggressive, man.
Yeah.
He sort of scares me a little bit sometimes. Every time he goes into that first corner, I go. Now, to be fair, he has been in the first corner barrier twice.
A lot, yeah.
But still scaring me. But you know what? I like to be scared sometimes. I like to think a guy's right on the edge, and he definitely is. His improvement in driving style from last year to this is exceptional.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
I have never seen somebody go from what essentially was a beginner to a professional in 6 months' time. Incredible achievement for him and his team. And score comes up 78.7, 11th position for Enver Haskasap.
Yeah, and we move it on to the top 4 finishers from round 1 just 2 weeks ago. The first guy on the line, David Karkošik. Now this guy.
Well, you see, I'm David. He's David.
Oh, sorry.
You know what I mean? He's got a little bit more on it than I do.
He's got a little bit more of a flair.
He's got flair. I don't have flair. He's got flair. David Karkošik.
Yeah.
And he has pretty much sellotaped and blue tacked this car back together after what was an incredible battle for 3rd place on the podium with Toran and Gavin last round. And Karkošik was one of the most aggressive drivers I've ever seen in practice in the chase position, but you've got to get the qualifying run in first.
Yeah, exactly. As we see David Karkošik now firing that car to the wall. Can he pull it out the bag and get a top spot in qualifying? Well, it looks technically good. Not fulfilling all of the zones like the judges want to see completely, but you know what? Very fluid, very fast.
Yeah, he was doing the last couple of runs of practice like it was the last couple of runs of his life.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I don't care about the car or anything, I'm coming for everybody. But qualifying is a different thing. It's a technical show of getting what you need from the judges. It's a lead run, essentially. Yeah. They're looking for the best lead runs. So you can chase all practice, but you got to get it done in the lead position. Tomorrow, you got to be able to do it in qualifying today. And a score comes in for David Karkošik.
And an 80.3 there for David Karkošik as he drops into 9th position.
Not a bad run. We're just seeing from our tower here that Jack Shanahan having some issues with his car, removing it from the circuit at the moment. So I'm not sure what exactly is happening there.
So we move it along on the line. This guy, Torane Kavir, looked strong, took a step on the podium, and you know what, this guy, emotion flowing out of him.
I felt for him.
Wow.
You could see how much it meant to him taking that 3rd position at round 1, and he's back to try and go even better. in second with Arnie Kavia. I mean, I call him Thor because he brings the thunder. Can he bring it again?
Yeah, all the way from Norway, the 21-year-old guy. S13, LS3, 600 horsepower. Chase game was on point, but like we say, Dave, you need to be in top 32 to get in that battles for tomorrow. What has Torane Kavia got? Your third place finisher from round one, lifts a wheel on initiation. This is aggressive so far from Kavia as he gets that car nicely into the outer zone. Very good front transition there, and again back online all the way to the walls. Kavia looks so strong again,
and a lot of angle. That's what Jules are like, but too much there, missing that outer zone and not fulfilling all of those outer power zones. And you know what, he started the run so promising, just a little bit of a drop off towards the end.
So we await to see how our judges score that run as Torane Kavia makes his way back to the back of the queue. Judges just discussing this one.
So let's see what Arnie Kavia, can he bring the hammer down? Here we go, 75.7, 17th position, not so bad with a couple of errors thrown in there. He'll take that one on the first half of qualifying, leaving us with 2 drivers remaining, and the next, as I always say, needs no introduction. He is pound for pound the best in the world right now, current Formula Drift champion representing Falcon and Worthouse. It is, of course, the machine, James Dean. And as you can see, he has put a registration on the back of his car for some reason. I think that might just be maybe a van that was towing the car. I'm not sure exactly why, but the one thing he will be doing this weekend is trying to get himself to the top step of the podium. Taken down by his 14-year-old neighbor at round 1 in an incredible moment in Poland. But right now he has to start all over again and try and get himself into. He's had some trouble in practice. Nitrous system on the car coming and going, said he was losing power. Let's hope everything's okay as James Dean takes to the line to try and put in his first qualifying run.
Yeah, looking good so far as Dean. Look how wide it is, Dave. Widest we've seen so far as Dean takes that car all the way to the wall, almost makes contact with the back bumper. Nice transition back onto the wall again as Dean looks very controlled. This is a very smooth run. Dean gets in a touch and goes, almost takes the spoiler off as James Dean takes it home.
What a run.
And I mean,
calm down. It's only the first half of qualifying.
Just the first run, James.
But you know what? Very precise, very technical. But you know what I noticed there? Not perfect.
No, not perfect.
And you know why I'm saying that? That's how hard this track is. That's how difficult the level is here and how aggressive you've got to be, because it is not a natural track to get to those outer zones. The transition is not natural.
No.
Drivers are having to work for it out here, and one guy that knows how to work for it is James Dean. So let's see what he scored on his first run. It's going to be high, though, definitely. A 90 on the board for James Dean, first position. First driver to break into the 90, but still, as I mentioned, 10 points left out there on the track. So we're going to see guys pushing extremely hard as we go through the evening.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of these guys, like you say, got a score on the board now, so they'll be pushing hard in the second run. But one more guy left to go. The round 1 winner of the Drift Masters European Championship in Płotsk 2 weeks ago, the 15-year-old Connor Shanahan, representing Link ECU Westlake Tyres.
Yeah, and of course, pressure on his shoulders now. Comes in as the unknown at round 1.
But you know what? I see him yesterday, David. He said, I don't care about the pressure. I'm here to party. I'm here to put it on the line. And look at this from Shanahan. Whoa!
What an entry from...
Absolutely on the line from Shanahan.
And so much angle in the transitions too, as he takes it right out to the wall, and he looks like it's business as usual for Connor Shanahan as he fulfills most of those outer zones. That's a very solid first run for the youngster. And just when you thought it was a flash in the pan at round 1, you go, okay, maybe
not.
Maybe this kid's got something, because he's come back out again. And let's see what Connor Shanahan scores. Remember, it's the first half of qualifying. Remember, we're halfway done right now. And nothing set in stone just yet, but Connor Shanahan awaits his score from the judges. Will he challenge James Dean at the top? James Dean finishing the first half of qualifying, as you'd expect, with the ranking in the world that he has, with a 90 in first position. But I think there's a lot of guys on that grid warming up, getting ready to go even better.
What's Connor Shanahan got, though? We await for the score to drop in from our judges. It's going to be a big one, Dave. I've got a feeling it's going to be a big one. Big impact, nice fluid transition. That front transition was absolutely perfect. And here it comes. A big score, Dave. What's it going to be?
Let's see what Connor Shanahan can do. Can he outdo James Dean at the top of the leaderboard? Yes, he can. Into first position goes Connor Shanahan, ahead of James Dean by just 0.3. Incredible stuff from the youngster. I mean, what a first half of qualifying. We're back where we were. James Dean in second, Connor Shanahan in first. I'm not sure if James Dean's going to be happy with this right now. His 14-year-old neighbor, 15-year-old neighbor rather, giving him some issues in the first, but it is only just the first half of qualifying. As we reset our drivers and get them ready for what is the business end of qualifying, the second half, the second runs. We're going to tell you who's in and who's out and who's ready for battles tomorrow. We're back in just a few moments' time, but first, we caught up with some of our drivers before qualifying to check out what went on in practice. You know you want to see it. It's coming up right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this incredible circuit here in Hungary. It is, of course, the Trackwood circuit here at Máriapócs, and it is round 2 of the Drift Masters European Championship. After an incredible opener in Płock in Poland, we're back at it again, with 20 nations going to war for the biggest prize in European drifting. Right now, let's check in with some of those superstars and see how they've got on in an incredible practice session earlier today. Here with Eli Hutunji, one of the Red Bull Drift brothers, and of course, welcome to Hungary, man.
Thank you.
After an incredible round 1, which blew everybody's mind, it's a very different track here for round 2. You've had a couple of practice runs. Talk us through this challenging circuit here at Trackwood.
Yeah, it's definitely a totally different story than the stadium in Płock. For me, it's 4th gear, so it's way faster than in Płock. And the nice thing about this track is that it has banked turns, so it always helps you a bit. You can go a little bit faster than you think you could normally go in a turn. So it's a nice, really flowing track, and a smoky track as well.
So of course you had an epic encounter with Gregor Szybki at Płock. I mean, it was one of the battles of the day, and it was only in the top 32. Talk us through the competition here. It's pretty heavy. There's a lot of very good drivers here.
Yeah, I mean, all of the top 32 drivers that had been qualified, I guess, had ever won like at least a national event. So each of these drivers can win the event. So it almost doesn't matter where you qualify. It's the level of driving of all the drivers. There's not much difference. Like, it's not only 10 drivers that could win the event. It's like 30.
And of course, you guys, you love the challenge, right? This is where you guys want to be, with the best of the best and trying to compete for that top spot. What would it mean for you to take home the title of the true European champion?
That would be a life goal. I mean, there are 50, 60 others that are rooting for that. But it would be the biggest step we ever would have accomplished. But it's a long way to theirs, but we will give our best. I mean, we had been in a different championship with different driving style, and we need to adjust here, but we really love the style that is here. So yeah, we are eager, and yeah, we will give our best all time.
Well, best of luck out there today, and we wish you both brothers, the best of luck later on.
Thank you very much.
Representing Monster Energy this weekend, of course, coming from the Ukraine to the first round of Drift Masters you've been at this season, and a big challenge ahead this weekend. But this is a track that you are familiar with. You've driven here before.
Yeah, I think I started this track from 2010. I was first time here, and I was lucky to be in podium on the second place in 2012 here. I was second. I was in top 8 a few times here, but this competition is always tough, and the level that Drift Masters is bringing this year is going to be epic.
Okay, now, I'm going to be a small bit of a fanboy here and say that I love your car more than anybody because it spits the most amount of flames I've ever seen. 4 flames at the front of the car. Talk us through the engine setup in this car.
So this is VK56 engine from Nissan Armada, Nissan Titan, Infiniti QX56, which is powered by PPM stroker kit, which is powered by Kelford cams, twin turbocharged by Garrett turbos, and we have crazy, huge 60mm turbo smart wastegates, so you can see a huge flame, and everything is mapped by Afterfix. We have anti-lag setup as well in the V8 engine with a twin turbo. That's why you hear this crazy sound on the track.
And what sort of power is it making?
It's about 1,000 horsepower at the engine at the moment. This engine doesn't have any intercooler. It's just straight to the turbos. Yeah, it's a bit different setup from what you see in other cars. We have like 300 3,300 cc's of water methanol injection per minute into the engine, and we are still running the stock fuel, like a pump fuel.
So this is just a crazy Frankenstein of a car, but we are looking forward to seeing you out on track shredding it with the best of the guys in Drift Masters. And Dimitri, best of luck out there. I'm here with Steve Bagsy Biagioni. It's round 2 of Drift Masters, Steve, and you had a pretty hellacious first round, hitting quite a few things and getting all your way to the top 8. Competition here, though, is very, very stiff, and a brand new track brings a brand new challenge. How are you feeling out there?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we had some success when we were last here a couple of years ago, and coming into this round from round 1, the car's obviously seen a lot of it saw a lot of abuse at the first event, and we've done a fantastic job working with G Garage over the last couple of weeks to get it back to somewhat looking like a car. And we've just gone out for the first couple laps of practice. A few things we still need to adjust and change. I'm not really happy with how the car is right now, but I'm sure the guys are going to get it sorted, and we'll be out there hopefully putting in some good runs.
And of course, this year you're joining forces with Nigel Colfer on the same team. Is there a little bit of friendly rivalry here in the Monster Energy truck?
No, we're good. It's really helpful to have Nigel here. He's got a lot of experience on a lot of these tracks because he's raced in Europe for many, many, many years, and it's really good to have extra feedback. His team being here as well alongside mine really helps as well with everything else we've got going on. So it's a real massive benefit. Of course, there's a little bit of rivalry between the two of us, like there is in any team, I'm sure, but at the same time, it's a much bigger benefit than it is a disadvantage.
And am I right in saying that the last time you were here, you had a pretty successful weekend? Was this the one that you actually won the event?
Yeah, we won the event here, and it's one of those events where I had a little bit of luck. Going through into top 32, I got a bye, and then in top 16, I think one of the guys crashed and hit the wall. So we got to top 8 fairly easily, and then after that, it wasn't easy at all. Some really, really good local drivers, and obviously James in the final. So we were stoked to walk away from that event with the win. It felt like for me, it felt like winning a championship almost, that event. And we're looking to obviously repeat that here, but again, this championship, the level of driving is just like nothing else you've ever seen anywhere in the world before, and it's insane. So everybody has to push hard, and it's the only way you're really going to make it to the top.
Well, of course, we'll be wishing you luck, and I'm sure everyone back in the UK will be hoping you fly that Union Jack high on the podium later today. And we are going to see if Mr. Bagsy Biagioni can take down James Dean once again here in Hungary. Find out soon.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth. Come on. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Hey. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Coming live from the VIP, heard the nightlife, lost life with that beat. Both hands in the state, sit by me. The whole city got pissed, heard he got free. That other nigga got a hit me, shout he not out. Who set the city on fire soon as he got free? The king back now, hold don't even know how to act now. Hit the club, strippers getting naked before I sat down.
I'm here with Jack Shanahan, of course, making the trip over for Ireland for round 2 of the Drift Masters Championship. Jack, a very different track today for everybody here as opposed to the first round. Of course, this is the true European Championship, and it's obviously challenging the drivers with different layouts throughout each round. How does this one fare compared to the first round?
I think this one suits a lot of the Eastern European drivers a little bit more. Just like not as tight and technical as was at round 1. But the big horsepower cars will probably shine through a little bit more. Me and Conor have watched a lot of practice this morning in the first group and stuff, and you can see that the guys with the big power are really putting on that wise fab and putting the shoe down. So it'll be a little bit. It's a massive change for us. So hopefully we can adapt to it quickly and see how it goes.
So of course, for the whole family, an amazing moment in Poland with Conor taking the win. But of course, it's back to business today, both back to the start line. And of course, you're trying to get yourself back up that championship leaderboard again.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I've seen enough of his name over the last 2 weeks. So hopefully we can make sure the car is okay and we can just push 100% and be confident on track and stuff and see how it goes,
Well, best of luck out there, Jack. I'm sure you'll be putting on a show. I'm here with Italian welcome to Drift Masters this year.
Very much.
And you've obviously brought something a little bit special for us, something we're not used to seeing, a crazy MX-5.
Yeah, it's a little MX-5 with 2ZZ inside with 700 brake power. I chose this platform because I used this platform from 2011 when I first competed in Europe in JDM All-Star, OK All Championship. I'm very happy to be here in Drift Master. Level is so high, and this is what Europe drifting need, because the level of European drifter is really amazing. So really happy to be part of it, and hope to do well this weekend, qualify and do my best in the race. So.
Awesome, and of course, that track out there is a little bit difficult. A lot of guys saying it's something very different than the first round, but for you, how are you finding it so far? You've had some practice. Is it difficult, or are you getting to grips?
Yeah, practice, unfortunately, I make only 3 runs. Now we are going to do more run of practice, and hope to improve the level before the qualify, because track is really technical, because all the clipping point is exterior, clipping point external, and the track got different grip in the part of the track. So it's really technical, but it's really fun. Really fun.
Well, we're wishing you the best of luck in qualifying later on, and of course we're hoping to see this little MX-5 in the big show.
Thank you.
Thanks, Filippo. So the track is ready, our drivers are ready, and we hope you guys are ready for round 2 of Drift Masters. And when we said we were going to war this weekend, we weren't lying. Hold on to your butts. So there you have it. I found a tank in the pits.
As you do.
As you do, walking around, there was some cars and there was a tank. So, you know, we're in Hungary.
And some really bad puns.
Yes. So we're going back to the line. It's the second half of qualification. And of course, this is the business end, Ian, because you are either in or you're out.
Yeah.
So after each run, we're going to see where these guys stack up. And again, 32 drivers from 54 going into the battles tomorrow. This is the warm-up of the show. This is what gets you into the big show. And tomorrow, we're going from the light into the dark. It's going to be insane. First off the line, though, Milos Djordjevic back on the track.
Yeah, Milos Djordjevic currently sitting with a 60, so work to be done, like say, and fires it in backwards, but holds onto it. Does Milos Djordjevic, sacrifices a lot of clipping points there.
Yeah,
and
went
way offline now.
Yeah, went a little bit over the top on the entry, trying to pull it all to that 100 run, but it just didn't work out for Milos. And right now, he's got to hope, I think, that his first run
is enough.
Enough, because that's not going to improve it as far as, you know, from where I'm standing. And I'm just, you know, saying my opinion, which doesn't matter for anything, really, with the judges. But again, came on that big entry, tried to just pull something spectacular off, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, Dave, look, a lot of these guys are either in or out of the fight, and this is the business end. This is where it really counts. You've got to put everything you have got on the line right now and send that car in 100%. And look at that. Unfortunately, Milos Djordjevic out of competition, 35 position.
Wow, first driver, he's going home. Incredible. Another driver under pressure is Dmitry Ilyuk from the Ukraine. You can see him confident behind the wheel. He had a mechanical issue on his first run, and you can see he's had some fun with the walls already today, but he is coming from the Ukraine. It's his first time in the Drift Masters European Championship, and for me, he's got to pull something off special here.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to pull it out of the bag right now. Does the Ukrainian as absolutely clicks the limiter? Does Dmitry Ilyuk, can he get out to that zone? He doesn't, Dave, and you can just see the flames firing out on that anti-leg. But this is scrappy from Ilyuk right now. Doesn't fulfill all those outer zones, and you know what? I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get a score like he wants.
No, I think definitely. I mean, you've seen some of the runs go in from the higher end of the competition, and to be honest, it's such stiff competition that any mistake out there and you're gone. And that's what's harsh about drifting. You just get those 2 chances to light up the scoreboard. If you don't light it up, you're out of the competition, and all that work and effort you've done to get here, that's what makes it so exciting, but that's what makes it so heartbreaking at the same time.
So, yeah, look at that, a 46 for Dmitry Ilyuk, and 41st position means he is out of competition already. Another driver, Dave, falling out of competition.
That's a big shock. That's a big shock.
Yeah, and listen, we keep going. These guys to get through. Jacek Popilik comes to the line for his second qualifying run. Currently sitting with a 71, so a driver looking a bit more confident.
Yeah, Jacek Popilik, he's obviously lost the rear end of the car, or the spoiler of the car as well earlier on in practice, but he's going to be trying to improve his score as well. Very aggressive on initiation though, that big fave. But a bit of...
and a mischief potentially was that.
Yeah, it looked like he made an error there, and again, those errors are going to cost you big time at this level.
Yeah, you just cannot be affording to make those errors as he starts now to put down a run. but big errors and a big straight, and it's going to hurt the score.
It is, and Ian, as I mentioned before, there's no sport quite like it. It's like drag racing in one way. One mistake and the race is over. But this, you got to do it not just in a straight line, but you got to do it sideways at over 60 miles an hour around a banked corner with walls everywhere. You know, this is really testing not just a driver ability, but your mental state to stay in the zone. And one slight error can cost you here. And I think on that particular run, I think he's going to find himself in a situation that he might not want to be in.
Yeah, look at that, a 28 there on his second score. So he does find himself inside top 32 at the moment, does Jacek, but he is going to be dangerous by the end of this qualifying session.
Yeah, nervous moments for him and his team to watch those scores drop in. Moving on to our next, we saw him in the interview of Filippo Parini in this 2JZ powered MX-5 from Italy, the only Italian driver on the grid right now, so he's got to fly that flag this weekend.
Yeah.
And again, another driver who has to improve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sitting with a 50, like we said, he needs to improve. But what has he got? As Parini fires it in, and very tentative. That's a double initiate, and this is looking scrappy for Parini.
Yeah, way off those outer zones and the inner zone also. He can try and claw back those scores, but again, so much weight put from the judges on that first corner that it's going to hurt his score either way.
Yeah, as he takes it across the line, I'm not sure that that's going to be enough for Parini to find himself inside top 32, and not looking good so far for a lot of these guys. It just goes to show you the level of competition and how harsh top 32 is.
Well, I mean, Ian, let's be honest here. We're looking for the best drifter in Europe, right?
Exactly.
So you got to be the best in the whole of all of those countries. I'm not even going to tell you how many there are, because I don't know. But there's a lot of countries in Europe. There's a lot of very good drivers.
Yeah.
They're all here. So any mistakes, any problems you have on a run, and I think guys know it, there you have it outside. Filippo driving all the way from Italy and not making it into the top 32 tomorrow. And that's so harsh. But again, that's the problem. You go to this level, you've got to perform. And guys at this level, you know, they don't take it too harsh because they want to be the best.
Exactly, yeah. They're pushing hard every time. But right on the line now, we have a Kremets Shuri, 34-year-old Ukrainian. Currently sits with a 56, so work to be done. Can Kremets find himself inside top 32, or will be another guy lost to the competition as he fires that car in? Now Kremets needs to get on it. And you know what, Dave? It doesn't sound like that car's running 110%.
No, hesitating a small bit as he came through those intersections, and right now just trying to tidy it up towards the later part of the run. The car just looks insanely cool though.
Yeah.
And again, there's no losers when your car looks cool.
That cool, yeah, exactly.
You're always a winner in my eyes, but it did sound like it hesitated a little bit. It was down on power or something. I'm not sure what happened there, but the first section of the course will let his score down a little bit. And again, with the scores coming in so high from every corner of the continent right now here in Hungary, you've got to make sure that you put in your very best. And I think with the car working against him there, it might have worked against the score.
Yeah, so we await to see the score from Kremets drop in. Is it enough? No, and it isn't, Dave. Another guy falling foul to top 32, 37 position there for Kremets, sees him out of competition. And we go back to the line. We're keeping the action moving thick and fast here as we see 2017 British Drift Champion Matt Carter on the line. Now, this guy, 75 on the board currently, so he's comfortable inside top 32. But Matt Carter will be looking to climb his way up the board. But
well, I mean, what you're going to see with these guys with those mid-70 scores now is that they can take a risk here. Yeah. They can take a risk to guarantee battle action.
Yeah.
So they can go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try and put in a solid run for the first, and then the second, I might risk it a little bit. I might go a little bit beyond my comfort zone to try and get up into the 80s and the 90s.
Exactly.
And I think that's probably what Matt Carter's thinking about right now.
Exactly. So, well, we see Matt Carter almost take it home with a top 3 score at round 1. Can he pull it out of the bag right now? Matt Carter going to be looking for some revenge. As he... he broke the car off the line. Massive aggression, and then the car shut down.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on right now, but it definitely looked like the car has just rolled to a stop as they came off the line now.
Oh, wow.
Which means that he will not get an opportunity to try and improve his score, meaning his first run, which was a 75, he's going to hope that's enough to get him into the top 32. It's not a bad score.
No,
but he would have loved to have another shot at it.
I would love to have seen Matt Carter have another shot at it. You know what, the aggression and the way he feels right now, I don't know if it was just me, but talking to him, he was hungry. And yeah, I mean, come off the line, big kick. I'm not sure what he broke, but definitely a problem. Yeah, and making it official. Sits in 19th position so far, so he's going to find himself inside competition tomorrow. Oh yeah, big problems with that car as he drives away from the commentary tower.
Yeah, I mean, he's driven the car back up just to see what's up with it, but I mean that's
sounds
bad.
Sounds bad, yeah. So we keep going. Christian Erlsson, 67 so far on the board.
Yeah, had some trouble on his first run, just not the smoothest of runs from Christian Erlandsson, and he's going to have to tidy that up straight away.
Yeah. Yeah, Erlandsson comes off the line for his second qualifying run of the day. What has he got? As he fires in that 2JZ powered BRZ. And this looking good so far from Erlandsson. A lot tidier than his first run. Oh, wow, an error there on that front transition.
I'm completely missing that outer zone, Ian, and again, bleeding points here as he does get to that third outer zone, and the power this car puts down is simply sensational.
Yeah, 932 horsepower, and it just shows. He squeezes the accelerator and it just lights the tyres up on the back of that little car.
But I'm afraid I think a couple of those missed zones are going to hurt his score, and you know
I don't know if a 67 is going to cut it by the end of qualifying.
That's the question.
I think, and that's what I was saying earlier. These top 32 scores are going to be high. Every guy in top 32 is going to have a good score. So we wait to see where Christian Erlsson lands in, the Swedish driver.
It's a 63.
Look at that. A 63 is not even, it's just scraping you in top 32.
No, 67, because that's his first run.
67 is just scraping you.
Just doing the math here on the abacus, and I'm saying the run 1, 67 is where he sits, 63 not improving, so that is a nervous way. 31st position, that's not where I'd like to be, right on the drop zone. Next up, we've got Jim Olofsson, representing Simpson Race Products, of course, a partner of us here at the Drift Masters European Championship. And Matt Carter, you can hear driving off the circuit there just to check, see if he has his car in one piece. And a lot of these guys in incredible machines, Ian, having some trouble out there.
Yeah, listen, they're highly strung, pushed to the absolute limit. And these guys, you know, just driving them to the absolute limit.
And you think about it, right? It's like 16 seconds you got to get the car working.
Yeah.
Just 16 seconds.
Matt Carter couldn't even make it off the start line just then. So
it goes to show how highly tuned they are, how on the edge these cars are running. And next thing, Jim Olofsson comes off the line. Let's see if he can improve on his first score. Nice wide line so far.
Yeah, looking good so far as Jim Olofsson as he fires that car in. A very strange transition there, though, as he now gets back into that outer zone. Stands back on it.
But doing a nice job of collecting those outer zones. Gets the inner clip on his second turn perfectly. It looks solid.
Yeah, it looks like a cleaner run.
The transition, however, very little angle.
Yeah,
and the judges
that was
saying,
the problem. It was very shallow.
And a lot of people say, a lot of the judges saying, they want to see some big aggression on the transitions.
A big flick, yeah.
Yeah, so they go, lock to lock, big transition from left to right. And for Jim there, it was just a little tentative, just a little safe. And maybe in the second half of qualifying, not the right choice.
Yeah, exactly. Not the way you want to go. Yeah, you can't hold anything back on a second qualifying run. So the judges' scores drop in for Jim Olofsson.
It's hard, because you don't know whether to just play it safe, get a 70-something to get into the battles, that's where the real show is, or do you push hard to make sure you're in there, but if you make a mistake, you go home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real mental torture.
So as the score drops in for Jim Olofsson.
It is an improvement, though. 69.3 puts him in the 28th position right now. And Jim Olofsson, the Swedish driver, he'll have a nervous wait also.
Yeah, exactly. Tobias Pushan sits on the line. Currently sits with a 72, so him feeling confident. Look at that, boxing. Got his fist up to the window, David.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. That's what we want to see. A little bit of aggression. You can see his window almost falling out from all the punching he's been doing in the car. But Tobias is one of those guys now who can go for the big run here.
Yeah, he's going to go for it. Look at this. Opposite side of the track, big flick initiation there for Tobias Pushan as he fires this car all the way to the outer zone, just about catches a wheel on it. And again, another driver opting for that very shallow transition. Starts to get back into it now.
Oh,
and he breaks the car.
Shuts it down. Flames firing from under the car and on top of the car. And our marshals almost just jumping for a fire extinguisher there because the car it's almost like the throttle stuck on.
Yeah, it looks like the throttle got absolutely wedged on.
Not sure exactly what happened there for Tobias Pushan. He looks to the back of the car, and I'm not sure if it's he looks maybe like he's blown a diff on the car.
Yeah, I mean, looked like he went for an upshift or a downshift, and drive shaft maybe, or a diff issue. And you can see our marshal there straight over with the fire extinguisher, and
there was a lot of flames coming out of that car.
It looked like the throttle got stuck on.
It looks like it's stuck on. There was flames underneath the car, coming out of the bonnet, it was pretty spectacular, but thank God everyone's okay. 23rd position is where Tobias Puszczan will have to stay and hope that everything is okay with that car. I'm not sure. It looked to me like if he looks to the rear of the car, better than looking under the bonnet.
Under the bonnet, yeah, exactly. Yeah, look at this watch. As you can see, it looks like it goes for an upshift, and then look underneath the car. The external wastegate and the exhaust just constantly banging blue flames. Not a good sign. You don't want to be sitting in that car on a limiter for a long time.
No, not a good sign. And the marshals here from Hungary, phenomenal guys on track, and they're just pushing that car, pushing that car out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought we wasn't going to do that anymore.
Oh,
just you can't help
I got
it.
one. So pushing that car off the track to make sure that it is, and I think that, I mean, he's got to wait to see if it's enough to get him into the battle action tomorrow. If it is, they got some work to do to fix it, whatever. It looked to me like a mechanical failure rather than something like an engine or anything. So at least in that sense, it could be something they have in the spares, something they have in the reserve to be able to get that car running again. And of course, you've got an E30 V8 here. There's a few of them around.
There's a few of them around.
There's a few of them around here.
Everything on the grid's a V8 E30.
It's incredible. I've never seen so many V8 E30s in my entire life. I think, to be honest, they're all here.
They're all of them.
All of
Every
them
single
here.
one
If
of
they
them.
exist, they're here right now.
So we wait to get back to the start line, where we will see the 2017 and current Drift Masters champion on the line, the 18-year-old Polishman Adam Zalewski.
And you know what? The signal to the camera there with the thumbs up, this is the first time I've seen Adam relaxed.
Yeah, confident.
He's confident because he knows he's got a good run in the bag. He can go for top spot here. He can try and do something spectacular as he absolutely fires it into the first corner. That was almost a 90-degree entry. And look at this as Adam Zalewski destroys the inner clip, goes straight out to the wall, almost makes contact. This is on the edge, Ian.
Yeah, Zalewski putting it all out there, David.
Oh!
Wow! Overcooks it and almost takes himself out. Now, I had to take a step back then because that was spectacular.
I think we took a step back in because we thought he was coming under the tower beside us.
That was insane.
He went for the 100-point run. And you got to respect that. You got to respect it.
Listen, the car, again, these little E30s on initiate, then big flick initiations, they hop.
Can we watch a replay of the initiation of how crazy that was?
They pop a wheel on initiation. It's just crazy. It just goes to show how much grip these guys are running.
Look at this initiation. I know, here we see this. Look at it. 90 degrees to the wall, just couldn't hold it. And I don't think anyone could have held that. That was going for craziness right there. But you know what? That's what it's all about here in Drift Masters, pushing it to the absolute limit.
Yeah, I'm going to make it official. Look at that, a 0 on his second run, but currently sitting in 6th position, so he's safe.
He had a chance to do something special. He tried it. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
But it shows the confidence is back with Zalewski.
Yeah, so we move it along. Daniel Savic sits on the line. Another guy looking confident, waving his hand. You can see the little fan in the rear window. Just
yeah, if you guys are watching in at home on the live stream, make sure you hit that share button at the bottom of your screen. And of course, hit that like button if you're liking the action here from Hungary. Give us that like button, give us that heart. You know, we want to see it. We want to see that you're appreciated. Next up, Daniel Savic takes to the track.
Yeah, Daniel Savic currently sitting with a 70, so looking good for top 32 action, but can he progress on and get himself higher? It doesn't look like he's going to better that score, no. Drops out of that outer zone, misses the front clip, and again, Savic looking like he's feeling the pressure, Dave. Looks like these guys are really feeling it right now.
But I mean, the perfect run and a mistake are so close here. You've got to be absolutely perfect. And a lot of the drivers, some very experienced drivers, Ian saying to me in the paddock, you know what? I'm not too sure on that first corner. When I initiate, I'm not too sure. And when you hear really experienced drivers saying that, you know how difficult it is. It might look easy. You might look on and say, hey, why aren't they just doing what they're supposed to do? It is insane out here. The speed, the aggression, those walls come up so fast, and everything is so fast. So any little error in the car behind the steering wheel or on a brake or an acceleration or a clutch, and you've lost the corner, you've lost a couple of clipping points. 61.7 for Daniel Savic puts him in a 26th position. And that's a nervous weight also.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, listen, a nervous weight, like you say, but another guy looking to definitely improve his score. Kane Pisani right now sits on the line with a 46. This guy needs to really pull it out of the bag. Few errors in his first run.
Yeah.
A little bit of tidying up and he could pull it out of the bag.
Yeah, and of course he's got the power, he's got the machinery, he's just got to keep a cool head now and get the job done. And of course he knows what the judges want. He'll have watched a lot of the other runs that have gone before him. And these guys know how difficult the level is.
Yeah, as he fires that Toyota Supra in 2JZ under the bonnet, 780 horsepower. Whoa, look at the way that car changes direction. Looks like a wild beast right now on circuit. Does Kane Pisani's Toyota Supra. Big angle.
It's almost changing direction a little bit too fast for him when he's trying to get back onto that opposite lock, and it sort of cost him. It hung him out to dry as he went to outer zone 2, and he was narrowly avoided a collision with the wall there, but he gets the car home in one piece. But those errors, those slowing, remember, fluidity, speed, precision is what the judges are looking for, and those errors where you slow up and you make some errors, like I sort of suppose you don't look confident.
No, yeah,
you don't look confident in the line.
Or in control, yeah.
Exactly. So there you have it. Not enough from Kane Pisani to get him into the top 32. Another unfortunate set of qualifying runs for him. The Maltese driver will have to just hopefully round 3 will come his way.
Yep, hopefully. This guy, though, looking strong. Benedikt Cherba currently sits with an 80 in qualifying. Like I said earlier, he wowed us in practice. This guy sticking that car to the wall from the get-go.
I'm going out on a limb and saying this could be a massive run.
I was just going to say Cherba is going to put it all on the line.
I think Cherba here...
He's looked at the top 5 and said, I want to be one of those guys.
I'm going to go top 5. Because he's now got the pressure off. He can do anything here. And he's probably got a good enough score to get himself in. And he's coming in here very aggressive, and he's going for that outer zone straight away. Yeah, look at this. Fires it in, flicks the car an angle, shallow transition, but doesn't look like it's got the impact that we thought Benedictus was going to bring. Wide in that inside zone as well. Judges will be watching out for that. Playing it a little bit too safe for me, Dave. I think so. I shied away from that last outer zone as well. So missing those 2 zones. Maybe he feels confident. Maybe he says, you know what, an 80, I'm in the game. Let's just keep the car together and get into the show tomorrow. So. Absolutely, for sure. So let's see what he scores. I don't think it's going to improve on the first round. No, I don't think it is at all, Dave. Like you say. I'm no fortune teller, but I can tell you it wasn't a fortune. We've been in the game a long while. We kind of know what we're looking at now. So as the scores drop in for Benedictus Cherba. Yeah, look at that, 64, keeps him in 11th position as it is. And we keep the action flowing here at Máriapócs in Hungary. Lots of smoke, Ian. Lots of smoke. And we're swallowing a lot of it here in the middle of the track, to be honest, because it is a very smoky environment. Yeah. But like Dave says, if you like what you're seeing on the live feed, don't forget to hit that share button, hit that like button. Let us know where you're watching from. Me and Dave like to see we like to see where you're coming from. Yeah, let us know what country. Who are you supporting? What driver are you supporting? Where are you from? What country are you supporting? Yeah, what's your favorite color? Yeah. Just let us know. So we are moving it along to our next driver. That will be Mikael Overgaard. Yeah, Mikael came in with a very aggressive entry on his first run, but he's got to tidy up a couple of those errors to get a bigger score. Let's see. Oh, look at this, carrying some speed, Dave, as he fires it in. But like you say, errors on his first run, dropping him down to a 69. And again, same errors coming back into play. Oh, he's in trouble here. Yeah, over rotates. You can see it coming. Just went on big angle, tried to slow that car down, and it didn't work out for him. Remember, this is just a qualifying session. The most important thing that you guys at home can do is book tomorrow evening off to watch the actual main show, which is the top 32. Qualifying is a formality. Tomorrow, well, it's an experience. Yeah, I mean, listen, the show, and we put the show on at Płock just 2 weeks ago, and what a show it was. And if you missed out on that, well, I mean, more for you, because you missed something spectacular. And like Dave's saying, tomorrow is going to be the big show. Look at that, we make it official. A 0 there for Mikael Overgaard. Stays inside the game, though. He's inside the top 32, so maybe it's enough. We'll see how it goes from here on out, but yeah, nervous wait at the same time. Ken Egtved is our next driver, the Danish driver. As we said, he's got 25 trophies in his cabinet. Calm and collected, thumb up to the camera. He's look, 70 at the moment. He's inside top 32. He's feeling it. And you know what? This isn't even his first choice car. No. He is finishing off a crazy Corvette to finish the season. So remember the name. This guy's coming for blood this year. And all these Danish drivers pushing so hard. Yeah, exactly. Listen, nobody comes to this championship and pushes 50%, like you say, Dave. They know they have to push 100%, and it's showing. These guys are all national champions. They've done what they've done. They've done things. They've won things. They've been considered the best in their nation. Exactly. But then you put all the nations together, and then the World Cup's going on right now. Ian, we got a little bit of a World Cup of our own here in Hungary. We certainly have. Off the line, Ken Egtved scored a 70 on his first run. The Danish driver looking to improve. And look at that. Oh, he's in trouble here. Big problem. He has a big problem there on initiation. Locked all 4 wheels up. I thought he was going for the barrier. I did. I thought he was going to go in the wall then. It looked like he was going to go for that big flick. It didn't pay off. He had to lock the car up. So this is just He's got issues here all through the track. Something not right with that BMW. And a couple of very scary moments there. Ken Egtved. Of course, if you're watching in, let us know where you're watching in from. We're seeing guys watching in from the United States, from Italy, from Sweden, from Denmark, from Germany. From Ireland, funnily enough. Funnily enough, from Ireland also. Yeah.
No English, no English.
Well, maybe let's get some UK flags going. Just for Ian.
Just for Ian. Just for me and Bagsy and the rest of the
score
guys.
coming up, it is a 0. Shuts it
look
down
at that.
before the finish. 27th position is where Ken Egtvid will wait to see if it's enough from his first run to get him into the main show tomorrow, top 32.
Yeah, on the line, Kim Mathiasen right now, 49 in his first run. Thumbs up to the camera, he's looking confident. The
And
Danish
that would
driver.
say to me that Casper Christensen, it wasn't a fuel issue. There was
It was something else, yeah.
Something more terminal there. So knocked his teammate out of competition. But Kim Mathiasen, the 31-year-old Danish driver, LS1, 500 horsepower, E46. Another driver looking to improve here in the second half of qualifying.
Yeah, just lacked a little bit of commitment for me, Dave. Look, a bit more on this time as he fires the car in, gets on the accelerator nice and early, fails to get to that outer zone. Oh, and a straighten on transition there for Kim Mathiasen.
Yeah, just about getting into those outer zones,
Yeah.
but not filling them. And right now he does, as he tries to finish this one with a huge exclamation point. Plenty of power in this car, plenty of talent behind the wheel, but there's a lot of talent behind a lot of wheels here. So
Yeah.
you've got to be exceptional. As I said, it's not about being good at drifting.
No.
It's not about being great at drifting. It's about being exceptional.
Exactly, yeah. Listen, you've got to be the best of your game, like you say, Dave. And these guys are the best from their countries, from all over Europe, as we await to see a score drop in from Kim Mathiasen.
Yeah, someone came in and said they were from the UK on the live streaming.
Yeah, we got.
There's another guy out there.
We got some Scottish guys watching as well, and yeah, some English guys.
Let's see what we've got. Oh, so it's a 50 on the board.
50,
Just
so
a slight improvement, but not enough to get him into the show. And Kim Mathiasen will have a little rethink about that before round 3, which again is another very fast, scary track, and they kind of all are at this stage.
Now, up next, Daniel Janota. This guy, crazy car, crazy driver, but sits on a 46. Scrappy first run.
Yeah.
It was the initiation for me, kind of messed it up a little bit and then got back into it. Finished the runoff in spectacular style, but needs to kind of pull it all together now and make it count.
And with only 3 corners to get the job done. Oh, and a strange initiation again from Daniel Janota, missing the first clipping zone, missing the second clipping zone. That's going to hurt his score.
Yeah, I mean, look at the way that car transitions. Like you say, Dave, it doesn't look easy to drive. Looks like it's trying to kill him on every transition.
I think if he just survives, he's kind of happy with that. I think if he doesn't die at any point, he's like, well, it's okay.
If he gets out of it, closes the doors quietly and goes.
I'd say nobody touch that car or get into that
Again.
car because you could be killed. That is a scary looking car to drive, but again, scary is fine, but technical is what we're looking
Exactly.
for, and I think the score is going to reflect that. Missing a lot of zones there, Ian, and at this stage of the competition, when you've got to do an all or nothing run, sometimes you go home with nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't be doing a 50% job right now, so we need to get the score in there from Daniel Janota. And yeah, look at that, a 53, drops him outside of top 32, and another guy falling foul to qualifying.
We got a lot of fans looking in from Norway, looking in from Sweden, but who's looking in from Austria? Representing Austria is Daniel Brandner. Had a steering failure on his first qualifying run-in. The car decided to steer 2 ways at the one time.
Yeah, I mean,
which is never easy to drive.
The car wasn't feeling it, but Daniel Brandner was. Unfortunately, yeah, like you say, first run shut down early, looking like a good run. So all to play for in this run. A 0 currently outside top 32. Can he make it count? Can he get in the show?
Think of the pressure, and he's got to get it all done in the next 20 seconds.
Oh, he's coming in hot, Dave. Look at that wobble on initiation. Big speed and aggression right now from Brandner as he fires that Mustang to the wall. Nice transition, gets it back. Oh, and again, an issue again.
Another steering issue again for Daniel Brandner, and he will be devastated. 2 runs, he didn't even get a fair fight.
Wow, such a shame for Daniel Brandner as he makes his
must
way
be
off
some
circuit.
steering issue with that car. It does look like all the wheels are steering or pointing in the right direction. But as he does a rolling burnout out of here, I think he's going to know the writings on the wall that 2 zeros ain't going to get you in the show here.
Unfortunately, you're not, and you know what? We like to see that guy in competition. Such a cool car. We're going to make it official as Daniel Brandner there just completely smoked himself out. Yeah, and another 0 on the board there for Daniel Brandner.
Yeah, I'm not too sure he shut the car off there. I'm not sure if that rolling burnout has caused some heat or smoke issues in the car. But yeah, you just don't want to be the guy that did the rolling burnout and the car broke down after doing 2 zeros, because you know what? Everything's going against you.
Yeah, of course.
Every time you try and do something with the car, it's just not working out, and that's just one of those days. That happens. It happens in motorsport.
Yeah, exactly. And you could just see him, arms up in the air. Not sure what's going on. Oh, and he snapped another steering arm, Dave.
Wow. So steering gone again. And that is
So another steering arm snapped there for Daniel Bradner, and he cannot believe it.
And again, the same issue again. Looks like they repaired it or maybe welded that car back together, but it definitely seemed to cost him some issues. And yeah, they've got to try and get that car recovered off the track for a second time. To be fair, Ian, you know what, you can't. Okay, let's just think about it for a minute, right? He came into that corner full committed 4th gear with a steering arm that had just been kind of repaired.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at that. You can just see him trying to steer the car, but the steering arm.
Yeah, so remember, tomorrow we are back for the main event, top 32, 5 o'clock tomorrow. It is the round 2. That's where the championship points are scored and lost. And it is, of course, Central European time or Hungarian time. We'll be back at 5 o'clock for battles tomorrow. That's the main show. That's what we're all here to see. 32 guys go for that one step on the podium, and of course, they all want the top step.
Exactly. Listen, like Dave said earlier, if you missed out for round 1 and you watched the video after and went, geez, why was I not watching that? Why was you not watching that? It was the most crazy,
you better have an excuse.
Hair-raising event ever. Yeah, I mean, listen, forget the World Cup right now. We've got the European Championship going on.
European Championship. There's more countries from Europe in this than there is in the World Cup, I think. So
you think? Don't hold Dave to that.
I'm completely making that up, but let's just pretend there is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, tune in tomorrow, 5 o'clock. That's when me and Dave will be live again with top 32 battles. And listen, these guys, you've seen them go hard in qualifying so far, but you haven't seen them going door to door yet.
Qualifying is like the trailer before the film.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
Insane. These guys are going to be going harder than they've ever gone before. And we go back to the start line. We're recovering a couple of cars off the track.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. We just started to see Daniel Bradner's car just trying to get off circuit. Some guys sitting on the start line. Maciek currently sitting on the start line, ready for his second qualifying run.
Look at those people watching in from across the world. We want to say thank you so much for joining us for the second round of the Drift Masters European Championship. We're hoping you're enjoying the show. If you're enjoying the show, hit the share button below. Hit the like button. Let us know. You like the commentary. You like the event. You like the track. If you like just having something to watch on your phone. So, do you like something to watch rather than the football? I think that's probably what a lot of people are going to say. So we have got a recovery to my left here, which is to you guys at home, is to the right. Right. Yeah, that's how it works. So we just got that car getting off track. We're going to go back to the qualifying. Right now we have got, though, Connor Shanahan, our round 1 winner, sitting top of the leaderboard with a 90.3. James Dean in second with a 90. That story seems to be continuing.
Listen, I think this story is going to continue all year, and it's going to be a story that evolves of Connor Shanahan and James Dean battling each other throughout the season for the championship. Because,
absolutely.
Listen, in my eyes, they look so strong and they look so competent that I don't know if anyone else can take them down. But listen, we've still got some more guys to go through. Anybody can take the qualifying session right now.
And you know what? One man that surprised us on the first half of qualifying is this very man in the Toyota Supra. Maciek Jarkovic.
Yeah, Jarkovic currently sits with an 85, the Polishman, 2JC.
I mean, if you've got an 85, Ian, you can throw it to the wind now. You can just do what you want.
What is Jarkovic going to do? As
Stand
he comes
back.
up the line.
Hold on. Here we go.
Yeah, nice fast initiation from Jarkovic as he fires that car in. A few spots of rain start appearing on the camera lens. Could the weather conditions be changing here at Máriapócs in Hungary?
Not a bad run so far from Maciek. Missing that inside zone, just as I said in commentator's curse. But I think that first run has got him into the top 32.
Yeah.
This is just to get rid of this half the tires off the car and say, you know what, guys, let's clean it up. Let's get some fresh oil in it. Let's get this thing ready for tomorrow because it's going to war.
Exactly. So we await to see the score drop in for Maciek Jarkovic.
It's not going to be better than the first run.
No.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert. It's not going to be any better than the first run because the first run was sensational.
But look, he currently sits inside the top 5. Can he hold on to that position? We're waiting to find out yet as the rain starts to now fall here in Hungary, Dave.
Oh, great. Another twist in the story.
Well, this is what we wanted.
I mean, now they're like, oh, I'm settled in, I'm comfortable, I've got full... Oh, no, wait, it's raining.
Now it's
and
raining.
now I've got to think... I haven't done any laps in the rain yet.
Nobody's driven in the rain yet. Nobody's driven on the rain. Nobody's driven on a damp track.
If you're in attendance and you're at the barriers, maybe take 2 steps back now because everybody's been going very slippery towards those outer walls. And now, Paweł Korpolinski has got to be the first driver to test those slippy conditions.
Yeah, as Korpolinski fires that car in, look at this. Not scared of the change of
Oh! I think he kind of lost that a bit and it held off.
Yeah, he held out of it. And look at this from Korpolinski. You can see
What a run so far, Ian, on the slippery conditions. I'm not sure if he even wants to be that close to the walls, but he has just nailed it.
That was an unbelievable run there for Korpelinski. Like you say, Dave, caught himself unaware a little bit, had to get out of the throttle, but he held onto it. He held into it.
He went in and said, I'm not too sure. And kept the throttle on, did the job. The rain is just drizzling down here. Might not be enough to affect it too heavily. Like, I'm looking across now, Ian, and I can't see too much rain, but it's going to make things a little slippery, especially with a day of rubber laid down. So.
Yeah, exactly. So score drops in for Pavel Korpelinski.
Wow!
Oh, look at that. An 88.3 puts him in third position.
88.3 for Pavel Korpelinski.
This guy drops in, mixes up the leaderboard.
You know what?
Again.
If I could bet, maybe I can. Maybe I can find some people around here to bet with. I think he's going to be way up there tomorrow.
Exactly. So we move it along. Dariusz Fabishak sits on the line. 3UZFE under the bonnet, the Polishman. Looking to improve on his score. He's currently on a 61.
And we don't know what the conditions are like out there on the track.
No.
Definitely the temperatures are dropped.
Yeah, look at this. You can tell a little bit slippery on initiation as Fabishak fires that car in. Misses some of the clipping points, but you can see how much. Now look at that. You can see how much the car was washing towards the wall.
Yeah, he was looking to get away with that one.
And that's banked. It just goes to show you the speed and the lack of grip.
That's an interesting one because he didn't so much make a mistake as he did avoid an accident because he had to just bail out of that one because he had absolutely no grip whatsoever.
Yeah, he had no control over that car whatsoever, like you say, Dave. So we wait to make that official. That will be a 0 there for Dariusz Fabishak.
Yeah, Darius, not what he wanted to see there.
No, not at all.
Those changing conditions cost him. He's in 33rd. That's out of the competition. And I feel for him.
Yeah,
I feel for him. That slight change in the weather, that slight change in temperature, that cost him there because he was looking like building on that first run. Now they got to go back to the drawing board and say, well, do I risk it now on this crazy track with very little grip?
And look, a lot of the drivers, Dave, that are sitting way down. Couple of last drivers to qualify are currently now coming off circuit to change tyre pressures.
Wow, we just see about 10 drivers head back to the pits. They're changing into wet setup here.
Wow, this is not looking good. But right now, Kajetan Rutina sits on the line currently with a 77. What can he do?
Yeah, well, if there's one man you want to go to war, you got to go to war in a tank, and this man is driving a tank. He's coming in very hot, though.
Yeah, struggled with power all day, but now the weather conditions could be helping Kajetan Rutina out. Listen, look at that, no tyre smoke whatsoever. You can see the car washing towards the wall as Kajetan now starts to lay down a very fast run.
This is a brave running in these conditions, and I think he might just have pulled this one off.
Wow, look at that. Kajetan Rutina taking it over the line.
Rutina doing a great job there, and again, with these changing conditions, I gotta say, that's a brave run. I think he's gonna be rewarded for it.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. You can see the car, though, the way it washed onto the wall. There's no grip whatsoever as the rain continuing to fall ever so slightly.
And remember, we're promised blue skies and sunshine tomorrow. So again, you go through qualifying from sunshine, now to rain, and then you go back to hot tomorrow. Look at this, an 86 from Kajetan Rutina, 86, 5th position. Man, Korpelinski and Rutina just killed it in the worst conditions I've seen so far this week. That is impressive stuff.
True driving talent and skill coming out there and just showing you what these guys from all around Europe have got. As you can see, the back window on Yannis Inglite's car completely drenched in rain. He comes off the line.
This is nerve-wracking stuff now. This is getting a little bit exciting because anything could happen next.
Anything could happen right now as Inglite fires it in. 79 on the board. As Inglite, look at that left foot braking. Almost takes the wall as Inglite keeps the car on throttle. Transitions into the second outer zone.
And you can see how little grip they have there. They just got to play with the throttle. And this is a big run from Inglite.
Yeah, Inglite absolutely nailing it. Left foot braking.
I mean, we talk about it. The best in Europe. Bring a bit of rain down, we'll go even harder than we did in the dry. Incredible.
Yeah, this is just insane.
I gotta say, I think that's another big run.
Yeah,
I think that's another big score on the board. I think that's
a
gonna
high 80 for sure.
Oh, I mean, it's getting intense now because the first we got 70s, 60s, we're all in the mid pack, and now all of a sudden, boom, 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 we're getting like run after run. Let's see what happens though.
So Yannis Inglite's score drops into the scoreboard.
83.7, 83.7 for Yannis Inglite, 8th position. Now all 80s, 80s, 80s. This is getting intense. I'm thinking those safe scores earlier on might not be so safe anymore, Ian.
No, exactly. And listen, I said the top 32 are going to be high scores. Someone currently sitting on a 75 is this man, Ivo Saroulis. Gonna need to improve.
What do you do?
He's gonna need to improve.
You gotta go harder to get more score.
He's coming hard. Look at the speed off the line from Saroulis as he fires the car in. Big initiation. As Saroulis now looks to nail that car to the wall. Absolutely perfect.
Look at the angle he's pulling here. Incredible.
Saroulis is absolutely on it as he almost tags the rear bumper off the wall, but misses that inner zone.
Yeah, a little wide on that inner clip. The only mistake, though, on a near flawless run. And they are going harder than ever here. Now, you know what? I think there's been radio calls made to their headsets saying, guys,
you need to pull it out the bag.
You need to step this up because people are putting in some big runs, and now everybody is finding that inner strength. They're going, hold on a minute. I'm a national champion.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. I'm one of the best in Europe. I ain't going out there on a 70 or a 60. I'm going out there to prove a point. That's what we're seeing here. Although missing that inner zone will cost them some score here. You got to respect the bravery.
Oh, listen, to throw them cars in absolutely flat and fourth gear onto a damp circuit is not easy, and the score drops in right now for Ivo Saroulis.
Is 76, slight improvement, 18th position. I think, you know, if he just got that inner zone, he could have been up into the 80s just like the other guys. I think the judges have a tough call here now if everyone keeps pulling runs like this out. Another man that is used to putting runs out is Andrius Vasiliauskas. The Lithuanian driver had an 84 in his first run, meaning another driver that doesn't really have to worry here too much about making top 32. Now he's worried about top and qualifying. But he's got to do it on a quite slippery and damp track with the rain misting down on it. It's almost... it's not even enough to call it a wet track, but it's enough to make it slippery.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to... Oh, look at this from Vasiliauskas.
Yeah, Vasiliauskas throws that car and almost backwards through at the initiation point, stands on the left foot brake, but misses that outer clipping zone.
Yeah, a little sort of hesitation on the transition also, straightening the car up a little bit. Maybe, you know what, not wanting to risk the car too much in these conditions, and probably a clever decision when you think about it.
Yeah, exactly, as Vasiliauskas takes it across the line.
And you know what, I don't think going to improve on his first score. You got to say, his first run was near flawless. That one had a couple of errors.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I don't think he's going to improve on an 84. The Lithuanian driver looking strong though, and looking definitely someone to contend with in top 32. And as the scores drop in, yeah, look at that, 72 stays where he is in 7th position.
Yeah, look, 7th position, you'll take that on a mixed bag, day of weather, of conditions, of track temperatures, incredible stuff. Max Heidrich is our next driver. And Max, he's been suffering a little bit, but he got a solid 75 after his first run. Let's see if he can improve from there. 75 enough? At this point, I'm not sure.
No.
Everybody's up in their game right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not going to be easy as 75 finds yourself way down the pecking order. Right now, Max Heidrich off the line. Big clutch kick initiation as he fires that car in. And again, another big clutch kick from Heidrich, but doesn't make it out to the outer zone again.
No, and it just looks a little bit shy of all of the zones right now. Actually missing most, in fact. Oh, it tags the wall. Tags the wall, takes the rear LED strip off the car. Not big damage done, but pretty exciting to watch. But after missing a couple of zones, I think he's kind of put the nail in the coffin there with an error.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's going to have to, I think, stand by his first score and say that's what I got. But let's have a look at this. Just going a little bit too wide. Just brushing the wall. It almost transitioned the car for him.
Crazy, crazy stuff. So we await to see the score there from Max Heidrich. Like you say, Dave, not going to improve in on a 75. And here
Max,
it is.
yeah, 62.7. The big errors on that run, 62.7, but it's 75.7 from the first run. Sits in mid-pack, so let's hope that's enough to get the German into the mix tomorrow. And another German lines up on the start line.
Yeah, Rene Potts. Now, this guy is going to be looking to do a much, much better than his first run. He currently sits with a 19. So outside of top 32 competition. Can the rain help this man? Well, we're about to find out. Rene Potts is off the line.
Ain't going to make it any easier, Ian, that's for sure. Throws into that first corner, Potts. You know, let the car wash a little bit there, but it's going to be a shallow line again, and a transition just a little bit forced, in my opinion. But it's a bit better than the first, but just on the inside of the track and not near those outer zones. And of course, when you're in the car, you can feel that yourself. You're not where you need to be.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's not looking good right now for Rene Potts.
No, it's a competent run. It's a technical run. Technically, he's drifted the track. But what the judges' criteria is looking for is those outer zones and inner zones. Missing a couple of those, especially when you've only 3 corners, especially when you've got 16 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't got a lot of time to impress here, and on that particular occasion, I'm not sure if that's going to be enough.
No, so we await for the score to come in. As Máriapócs stays where he is in 43rd position. Well, sorry, just climbs up to 43rd position, but still not enough to make inside competition. Unfortunately, that will be the end of the weekend there for Máriapócs.
Yeah, not enough. And as you can see, it's starting, you know, if you're judging this at home or in attendance, you can start to see what the winning runs are going to be like. They've got to be aggressive. The rain, though, still trickling down here as Michael Reichardt takes to the track. The Czech driver put in a phenomenal first run.
Yeah, currently sits with an 81. This guy's going to throw it all out there, Dave. Try and top qualifying.
I expect this to be pretty sensational. Oh, and a little early on initiation is going to cost him his line here.
Yeah, he's going to have to work hard to get into that outer zone. Just about catches the edge of it. Gets the inner zone.
Yeah, not the correct line though. Ian had to come shallow on the first corner, and it cost him the transition. So while it was super aggressive and very close to the walls towards the end of the run, I don't think it's going to improve on his first.
No, for sure. So Michael Reichardt.
Yeah, Reichardt, I think, you know what, he had an 81 on the first run. I think that's enough to see top 32 actually, and I think, you know, scratch that one down to experience and say, oh, went for it, didn't quite work out. He went for the crazy entry, didn't quite work out. But imagine when we send 2 cars in there tomorrow, door to door. That's going to be just incredible.
So the score drops in there for Michael Reichardt, and stays where he is in 11th position.
That ain't bad though, not at all.
No, not by any means. We move it along. Juha Portalaxco.
Like, remember, you're getting an 11th score at the best in Europe, the best 60 in Europe. So that ain't bad at all.
Exactly. So
I'd take top 200. I'd be happy with that. Next up, Juha Portalaxco from Finland, and another man expected to improve his score here.
Yeah, he's on an 82, Dave, so looking aggressive though as Portalaxco fires on the rev limiter. Shifts up again, fulfills that outer zone. Oh, and a big straighten again though from Portalaxco as he gets into the wall.
Oh, he definitely got into the wall there and run the back bumper almost clean off the car. But he is so fast, Ian, round here. That is breakneck speed.
Unbelievably quick, and a big smoke show there for Juha.
So we are awaiting the score for Juha Portalaxco. Will it be enough to top his first run? I think the first run, again, enough for him to see him go through to that top 32. He's got the job done early on, which, of course, with the changing conditions here, it seems like the clever move.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think they've been very, very clever, like you say, and I think lucky some of these guys that have not really pulled it out of the bag on the second run, the first run, making it all count.
So there you have it, an almost identical run for Juha Portalaxco. 10th position is where he stays, but that's the guy you want to be afraid of.
Yes.
The consistent scores, we always say it. If you can put those runs in time after time, you're going to be a big opponent to come up against tomorrow. Nigel Colfer now sits tonight. You can see that rain just running down the window a little bit. It's kind of hard to know what sort of conditions we have here. It's sort of smoky.
Getting very cold. Track temperatures dropping massively. As you say, Dave, Nigel Colfer comes off the line. 77 on the first run. Colfer going to be looking to go hard as he fires that car, and look at that no grip really on initiation. Gets nice and deep into the outer zone. Nice fluid transition as he fires it to the wall. You can hear him clipping the rev limiter with the clutch in. Oh, just about catches that front clip, but not incredibly tidy from the Irishman as he takes it home.
No, looking like he's struggling a little bit here today.
Yeah, it just doesn't look natural for me. It doesn't look like the normal Nigel Colfer.
Now, he is a man that always says, I'm building myself up to the final. I get better and better every run, but I'm not sure if that was better than this first. It might just have improved it slightly. But I don't think it's going to trouble the guys at the top end.
No, for sure. The top 10 are looking strong right now, but where does Nigel Colfer drop in? A 77 on the first run. Can he better it? No, he can't. A 75, and he sits middle of the pack, Dave, right now.
Yeah, 75.3 on his second run, 16th position. So we move it on to our next driver. It's Eli Hotunji.
Yeah, and this guy taking the option to go back to the pits to adjust his car.
He went bananas on the first run. It was the craziest entry I've seen all day. He just
hopped a wheel,
and then threw it on full angle and almost crashed into the wall, but managed to pull a run out of it. But again, he's got to be a little bit more precise here on the second.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very technical run from Eli Hotunji now as he comes off the line. Second qualifying run of the day. Again, nice opposite flick, but you can see there, wet, damp track, gets all the way out though.
That's nice so far from Eli Hotunji. This is a big run so far. Gets to the wall, tags the wall, takes the bumper and gets the inside clip. This is a big run coming in, but misses that outer zone.
Yeah, falls apart to the end of the run there, as you say, drops that outer zone that's going to hurt his score, but very, very strong up to that point.
In my scoreboard,
it's 150.
No, it's the most exciting two runs.
2 runs, yeah.
Yeah, because one he nearly crashed into the wall. The second he did, and took the bumper off, and he's got big angle and a big flick in.
Yep.
I just love the way this guy drives.
Exactly, yeah, he's a showman for sure right now, but can Eli Hutonji improve on a 76? Or was that drop of that outer zone too much? I think it will.
I think it was better than the first run. It was less wild. But he got to the outer zones, especially on the first half of the course. So, no, there you go. 17th position he's going to have to be happy with. 72.7 on the second run. So his first run counting as the higher run. So Eli Hutonji will sit in 17th position as we move on to the next driver, who is, of course, representing Poland. It is Grzegorz Hipki. He's playing the trumpet.
Playing the trumpet. I mean, he's happy.
He doesn't look very stressed out now.
He is not a stressed guy.
If I was throwing my car in at 70 miles an hour in 4th gear on a clutch kick initiation into a wall, I would be pretty worried about my life.
Well, this guy finished 2nd in the Drift Masters European Championship last year, takes out the initiation cone, but completely gets himself offline. Looks like he backed out of it ever so slightly. Now he's got to work hard to get it back on that qualifying line. And again, drops that front clipping point. As Grzegorz Hipki sits with an 81, he's looking confident going into top 32.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to improve on the first, but it had plenty of style on initiation. He took the cones down,
flick, yeah.
He threw it in there with no regard for his own safety or anyone else's. Yeah, so I'm respecting that, but he did miss outer zone 1 pretty heavily. So I think that's going to hurt his score a small bit, but, you know, what do we know?
What do we know?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
We know everything.
We know it all.
69.3. Could tell you that's coming.
So up next, Grzegorz Hipki's teammate, it will be Krzysztof Romanowski.
Yeah, Romanowski lost a door and a windscreen in 1 practice run.
I mean, I've never seen a windscreen.
You tell me this guy doesn't go hard.
Oh, he goes hard, all right. Oh, thought he'd stalled it off the line then, but no, he gets it off the line. Does Romanowski, look at that bonnet flexing with the pace. He carries in on the accelerator, nice and early. Clips the edge of the outside zone.
And the flick he threw back towards the wall in there looked like he lost control, but he absolutely pinned it again, and he's back out to those outer zones. And Romanowski doing another solid job of putting in a fantastic run. I'm telling you now, these guys tomorrow in the twin battles are going to be hard work for any opponent.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to make life easy for our top 32 competitors. Sits with a 76 at the moment. Can he improve? Or the judges find fault in some of that run?
It wasn't perfect, but at the same time, it had a lot of commitment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he threw that in on big commitment, and you know, we've got it on a good line. 72, stays where he is in 19th position.
Yeah, another guy sort of mid-pack. We'll hope that it's enough to get him into the main event tomorrow. You can see Steve Baggsy-Biaggioni on the line now, just getting some air through the car, trying to calm himself down a little bit.
Yeah, currently sits with a 71. He's going to be looking to climb up the order ever so slightly. And
71 is close to the drop zone right now.
Yeah. I mean.
And a guy like Baggsy, who's come here before, won an event here, now finds himself on the chopping board, that he's very, very close to not qualifying after so much effort to get this car repaired after round 1. This is pressure right now.
Yeah, comes off the line very, very fast as Baggsy flicks the car in. Nice angle. And look at that nice wide line from Baggsy. Stands on the accelerator, just catches the edge of that box. So this is going to hurt his score massively if he can't get back on a wide line. And again, Dave, not impressive from Baggsy so far.
Very close to that outer zone. Finishes the run very strong, but just not as wide as the end. To be honest, the entry was a little brave.
Yeah.
I think he wasn't even too sure what was going to happen, but at the same time, he didn't get to that outer zone exactly as he would have expected. And you know what? Not a bad run by any means. It could jump him up the order.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? I think for me, the big angle on initiation, scrubbed some speed, dropped him down offline ever so slightly. Should have been a bit more fluid. Boy, what do we know, Dave? What do we know?
Well, we don't know. We don't want to be out there. That's what I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be out driving this track. This track is petrifying.
Dangerous. Oh, and it does improve Baggsy. A 76 pushes him up into 20th position. So
that's not so bad. It's not so bad. Yeah, there's a lot of runs left to go, but you know, it's sort of mid-pack. You'll hope that that's enough. And Bartosz Stolarski is our next driver. He has been on the podium over 50 times in his 12-year career. That is a man that's confident.
And what do we call him? The Polish OG.
Yeah, he's kind of an old school guy.
He is
right?
an old school guy, yeah.
He has 1,100 horsepower though, so that, you know, I don't think, you know, 12 years ago anyone had 1,100 horsepower. I think only planes had 1,100 horsepower 12 years ago, but now he puts that 1,100 horsepower to work as he fires it wide. And can he hold it? Big angle.
Yeah, absolutely perfect there from Stolowski as he comes into this outer zone again. Now looking for the front clip, but he completely drops it. Very fast transition though from Máriapócs, Stolowski.
I think it's a better run.
Yeah.
I think he's stepped up to the plate there and showing why he has so many trophies in the cabinet. Because
Exactly.
you know what, you don't get to that level. You don't get to be considered one of the best drivers in Poland unless you've got that steely resolve and you can come out here and get the job done when you need to.
Exactly. So we'll wait for the score to drop in. He was currently sitting on a 60, so work to be done. Can he improve? As we await the score to drop in from our judges. And a 73 for Bartosz there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. He sort of wasn't perfect, but it did improve on his first run, not as sketchy. So another guy that's going to be nervously waiting to see if it's enough to get himself into the main event.
Yeah, next on the line though, Sebastian Fontaine sits with a 0 outside top 32. This guy now, we know, likes to party. Can he get in to top 32?
The Flying Dutchman, Sebastian Fontaine, he has to do it all here.
Yeah.
If he's as good as we think he is, he's got to be sensational. And the car shut down on the first run, so not even really his fault. He's coming in super hot.
Yeah, this looks aggressive from Fontaine right now. Nice transition. Can the car hold it together? Can Fontaine make it work? Almost taking the back end of the car off. Misses that front clip, but he's very close to putting in a good run. He makes it happen and he takes it over the line. Sebastian
and the
Fontaine.
car shuts down. The car shuts down over the line. He was lucky there.
That was nearly
you could almost hear the car dying out as he went to the finish line, and he was like, just stay in it. And it's sort of the momentum more than anything else got him there. Is it enough to put a score on the board and get him into the top 32? Nervous moments as his team watch the screens here to see if that is enough from our judges.
So what has he scored? Sebastian Fontaine, a 79.3. Jumps him into 15th position.
He'll take that. He'll take that. With the car shutting down, he'll definitely take that. Next up, we have got another one of our Red Bull Drift brothers. This time it's Joe Hutunji, the current King of Europe champion, now stepping up to Drift Masters European Championship, saying he's never felt a challenge like it. Well, he's going to have to accept that challenge and put in a big run here.
Yeah, he's going to have to put it on the line. 33rd currently, Dave.
Yeah.
He's got it all to play for us. Joe Hutunji fires that car into that outer zone.
Yeah, can't afford any mistakes here, Ian. He's outside the top 32. The current King of Europe champion. He's got to pull it together, missing that inside zone. He's going to be on the wire, I think, here.
Yeah, this is going to be close, Dave. He's being pushed all the way to the ropes, and he takes it over the line. Is it enough?
Held it together, not perfect.
No.
It's going to be a nervous wait for the score here.
Oh, King of Europe champion, not looking comfortable at this circuit.
No, and you know what? I think they'll start to get a little bit more comfortable, more practice tomorrow before top 32. We'll get a lot of these guys up to speed. The weather promised very sunny tomorrow. Grip will be higher on the track. Temperatures will be higher. But they got to get through this battle of a qualifying session right now, and it is intense.
It is, yeah, it is intense. As the score drops in for Joe Hutunji, a 73. Look at that, 25th position.
He's in the game, though. He's in the top 32 so far, so it might be enough. Again, a lot of guys, you know, suffering with the pressure right now.
Yeah, exactly. As we move it along to the beginning of our top 8 drivers, just 8 drivers left in qualifying. The first one to come to the line will be Paweł Borkowski.
He doesn't ever get stressed by pressure.
No, Borkowski, 4th position.
He's
with
ice cold.
87.
He's ice cold.
Super cool.
I think he's going for the show here.
Big clutch kick as Borkowski fires it in, big angle. Can he hold it together? Look at this, washes the car to the wall as the wipers are now on for Borkowski.
It's pretty much spot on so
tyre
far.
Smoke from the car though, just goes to show you how much the rain is falling here now.
I don't think, takes the spoiler off the car. Borkowski's coming for blood. That's how you get the job done.
That is a unbelievable run there from Borkowski. What about that? Look at this from Borkowski, absolute precision.
Have you seen? I just bought this new spoiler. It's really nice, and then it's gone. It's gone. It's all gone.
It's gone.
It's twisted into 3 pieces now. Well, that's what you do when you're trying
That's
to top
do.
qualifying.
Exactly.
Let's see if it's enough to get him up higher again than 5th position.
Yeah, he currently sits in 4th with an 87. Is it enough to take Connor Shanahan off the top spot? Oh, and it's not.
Yeah, judges seeing that as a big error. Kind of hit the wall a little too heavy there.
Yeah.
And broke the spoiler. So now we move it along. It is going to be Paweł Trela. Now, this thing, a rocket ship in the dry, but it's slippery out there and short wheelbase, Ian. This could make it a little bit more challenging for the Polish champion.
Yeah, look, he's sitting with a 0 as well, Dave, so a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now. What can Paweł Trela do as he comes off the line in the Opel GT?
He's got to do it all here. He's a 2-time Polish champion, but right now he's struggling to get himself into the main event. And the rain is getting heavier. As you can see, Trela trying to battle this car, and he's doing a great job so far. Will he hit the wall?
Oh, wow.
Oh!
Too much into it, Dave.
Oh,
puts
I don't
himself
believe
into
it.
a spin.
I do not believe one of the favorites to take this competition, Paweł Trela, will go home after qualifying, and he is furious, hammering the throttle. Cannot believe it, Ian. The best are falling here.
Yeah, listen, this is not good for these guys, and it just goes to show you the level of competition, how hard you have to push. And look at that, 2 zeros.
I mean, you know when you say, like, in kind of a hype way, right? Anything can happen.
It can. It physically can.
Really, right now, I'm not sure. The rain is coming down. We're on a wet circuit now. Jack Shanahan is going out on a wet circuit.
And he currently sits with a 69. He is way down the order, Dave. This is not like the usual Jack Shanahan. What has he got? His brother sits in first place in qualifying. Jack Shanahan, wipers on, big opposite flick for Shanahan. Car wobbles ever so slightly, doesn't look settled.
He's on the drop zone in 32nd position at the moment, as far, and you can see it there at the bottom of your screens. And it's a sketchy run so far, Ian, and he's in the wall.
Wow, he's in the wall hard. He keeps into it though, Dave, but it's not looking good. This is going to be scrappy from Shanahan. Can he hold it together? Almost takes the back off the car one more time.
That track is like glass right now.
Yeah.
It is like a deer on an ice rink right now, trying to get around there. And you can see there is absolutely no grip whatsoever. And Jack Shanahan went out there probably with the worst run everyone's had today. Now, let's just remember that his brother's in first place, currently in 32nd. If it was to stay as it was, in the top 32, we would see Jack and Connor Shanahan go up against each other.
Everybody else now ahead of, in qualifying, is already scoring higher than Jack. So if Jack doesn't improve and Connor stays where he is, Jack will battle Connor. Can Jack move up the order and not battle his brother?
Yes,
oh, he does. Look at that. 76. Wow.
Avoids an awkward night at the Shanahan trailer here at the track as he moves up the order. And you know what? I think the judge is saying in these conditions to even hold it together, that was impressive stuff. Yeah. Enver Haskasap now on the line. This guy's been impressing us, but I don't know, Ian, the conditions are awful out there right now.
They're treacherous, let's be honest. Look at the cars, absolutely soaked. Rain falling here, quite heavy now at Máriapócs in Hungary. Can Enver Haskasap keep this car out the wall for one more run and you know, a battery score of a 78? Well, he's off the line. Let's see what the Cypriot can do.
It's going to be dangerous here, Ian.
Oh, he's coming in fast.
Oh, no!
Big spin.
He's just had to shut it down.
Yeah.
Had to shut it down. That was going in the wall unless he shut it down. And yeah, Enver Haskasap will have to sit where he is right now with a 78 on his first run, and he just leveled the throttle there, Ian, to make sure that he got out of that one alive.
Yeah, Enver Haskasap, like you say, Dave, just keeping it together, keeping it out the wall, and keeping himself safe.
If somebody puts in a run now, right, over 90 in these conditions, that could be one of the greatest qualifying runs I've ever seen. So, like, Enver's obviously going to score a 0 there. 78 will keep him in 16. We've got a couple of drivers left to go.
We're in the top 4 now.
Top four in the championship, right? Top 4 guys. Now, in my prediction right now, none of these drivers should improve from their first score. They had a fully dry track on the first run. Loads of grip, very predictable. Now you've got one full day of semi-slick tire laid on this track and then rain. There's no way. There's just no way.
There could be a way.
No, there's not.
There could be a way.
I'm just trying to prepare the people at home to say you can improve on your score from your first run when the conditions are this bad. It just can't be done. So let's see what David Karkošik can do.
Well, David Karkošik right now is going to try it out as he fires his S15 into JZ power under the bonnet.
Oh, Karkošik coming in hot.
Karkošik firing that car all the way to the wall. Now look at this. Karkošik's got the grip level. Oh,
it's gone.
And he spins.
Another guy gone. It goes to show when you think of Paweł Trela's run, there's something over there that's just causing a lack of traction.
I'll tell you what it is. Sebastian Engblom crashed his GT86 into the wall very hard right there and spilled a lot of oil on the track. So that's going to make that section of the track treacherous.
Well, we saw it there, 0 for David Karkošek, and you know what? He had no grip there whatsoever.
No. And you know what that is? That is the remnants of Engblom's crash.
And Trella falling to the fate of the same incident.
Now, third place finisher, round 1, Torane Kavia, all the way from Norway. What can he do? This guy, he throws it all out
I'm just
there.
genuinely worried for the safety now, Ian, because it's pretty sketchy out there.
As he hops a wheel on initiation, Torane Kavia looks like he's a rainmaster, Dave, balancing.
Whoa!
Wow, look at this from Kavia.
But can he get through the next section? We saw Shanahan in the wall, Trella spin out, Karkošek spin out.
And
Yes, he can!
Wow, as Kavia absolutely gets it done. Look at that, no grip whatsoever, dialing the car on the foot brake, tickling the accelerator as Torane Kavia.
That's impressive, Ian. That is impressive.
His way through.
It's almost no speed whatsoever now.
No, it's just, it's just drifting on ice.
It was like it's like a slow-mo when he came through. It's like, is he going to get there? I thought he might get to the third corner at all. He was just stuck. But it's just like glass. I mean, we can't expect these guys to be superhuman, and those cars, no matter how well you got them set up for the rain, this is just, it's the actual rubber laid down. And now we're, as you were saying, maybe the remnants of some of that oil that was laid down from an earlier accident. It's like a minefield out there.
It is for sure, but what does the score drop in? And look at that, consistency is the key. Torane Kavia stays where he is in 23rd position with another 75.
So to be fair now, if it's wet or dry tomorrow, he's pretty okay.
He's pretty okay,
He's all right. So that leaves us with James Dean on the line, and he is going to have to show his talent here, because at the end of the day, he's been in the wet and dry, he's been all over the world. He's the current Formula Drift champion, considered by many across the world as the best in the world, while he's going out on a track that nobody will have confidence in. Really, really sketchy conditions. What can James Dean pull out of the bag here?
Well, look at this. Confidence as he fires that car in. Big angle from Dean. Can he hold on to it, Dave? Gets, into the wall with the back end of the Falcon Tire S14.
He's on the right line right now. He's tagging wall, and he's on the line in the wet.
This is insane from James Dean. Can he top qualifying? He needs 0.3 to take down Colin Shanahan. As James Dean takes it over
That
the
is
line.
pretty much all he can do. That is all he can do in these conditions right there, and he risked it all.
That was so risky. Absolutely backwards into that first out.
I was worried. I thought he was going in the wall.
Yeah, I thought that was
he was going in the wall. Incredible stuff from James Dean. I think.
Oh, judges having a little chat about this.
You see what I know what they're saying. In these conditions, you've got to reward somebody for being that precise around the track. Is it enough to top qualifying? He's already in second place, so it's like a minor difference.
Yep.
But I thought that was the riskiest run of the day.
For sure. He threw that car in big angle.
And the only driver to be creating smoke through the first corner, he was on that. So let's see what James Dean does. That was a masterclass. Is it going to be viewed that way by the judges? Will he go top? Yes, he will. James Dean goes into first position with a 91, just pipping Conor Shanahan. And that, to me, was a just brilliance.
But right now, Conor Shanahan's on the line.
No, I'm worried now.
The man on the radio is going to say to him, he has beat you by 1 point. You know what? Nothing to lose, Conor.
It's the last run of qualifying. Conor Shanahan, 15-year-old kid, comes at it again, and he's got to be better than the world champ in the wet. Let's see what happens.
He's coming in fast, Dave, as Conor Shanahan fires that Link ECU Westlake Tyres S13 in. Gets close to the wall, not as close as Dean, but keeps his car going. Looks like he's got some pace in this slippery conditions.
And tags the wall heavy and breaks the suspension. Breaks the suspension on the car. He's got to shut this down. Look at the rear wheel. He's still going with the rear wheel of the car, not even facing the right way. What was that?
Conor Shanahan.
What was that?
How is that even possible?
His back wheel fell off the car when he hit the wall, and he still finished the run. I'm going to give him 7,000 points for that. 7,000.
What? Look at this. Watch this. Watch the rear wheel. Bam.
Are you kidding me? Look at the wheel.
And he continues to put the run in. And
I thought he was going straight.
He manages to stay on some kind of line.
I thought he was going in the wall here for sure. And look at this. Look at the wheel. That is absolutely ridiculous. Just when you think you've seen it all in.
Do you know the word? He's going to get a score. He's going to get a score.
He's probably going to get a score for one wheel on the rear end of the car. What do you even need? I mean, it's a 75 with one wheel on the rear end of the car.
Well, I mean, that just says it all.
I mean, if you don't want to watch tomorrow's action right now, there's something wrong with you as a human. This thing is insane. This championship just brings out surprises after surprise. But for me and Ian, that is the end of the qualifying. And what we're going to do is talk you through who's going in and who's going home. Top 32 action kicks off at 5 local time. If you need to know what time that is in your locality, you can check out the Drift Masters Facebook page. Got a little world map there to let you know what's going on. And we're going to check out the scoreboard. There you have it. In first position, James Dean. Second position, Connor Shanahan. Third position for Paweł Korpolinski. Great run from him. Fourth position for Paweł Borkowski. Fifth position for Kajetan Rutina. Sixth position for Maciek Jarkovic. Seventh position for Andreas Vasiliauskas. Eighth position for Yanis Iglite. Ninth position, Adam Zalewski. 10th position, Juha Poitalakso. 11th position for Michael Reichardt. 12th position for Gregors Hipki. 13th position for Benediktas Chirba. 14th position for David Karkoshik. 15th position for Sebastian Fontin. 16th position is Enver Haskasap. 17th position for Nigel Kalfer. 18th position for Eli Hutunji. 19th position for Ivo Cirulis. 20th position for Romanovsky. 21st position, Steve Bagsy Biagioni. 22nd position for Jack Shanahan. 23rd position for Tor Arne Kavia. 24th position for Max Heidrich. 25th position for Matt Carter. 26th position for Joe Hutunji. 27th position, Bartosz Stolarski. 28th position for Tobiasz Puszczan. 29th position for Jacek Populik. 30th position for Daniel Sevak. 31st position for Ken Egtved, and 32nd position, and rounding out our main eventers for tomorrow's top 32 is Jim Olofsson. And that means, Ian, it is the end of its fairly spectacular end to the qualifying session. Crazy stuff expected tomorrow. We cannot wait for the sun to shine here in Hungary. Dry battles and door to door. That's what this championship is built on. The boring bit is out of the way.
Yep.
We're ready to go to the crazy part. That is tomorrow. If you've tuned in today, thank you so much for joining me and Ian here for an incredible start to the Hungarian round of the Drift Masters European Championship. Tomorrow we're back with all the action from behind the scenes and in front of the cameras and, of course, on the track. We'll see you guys then.